right, we're recording. So what's going on, Dom?
Not much, man.
Yeah.
Another day.
Yeah, how you been?
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Raising a hellion and trying to play more shows.
Well, remember, the Hellion's gonna be your mini.
Yeah.
or the old lady's mini.
No, he's mine for sure.
Yeah. Is he banging on things yet?
Oh, dude, absolutely. He I think he wants to be a drummer, so that's pretty cool.
I think every kid wants to be a drummer when they're young because
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, I could beat on this. This sounds good. You don't even know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I got him one of those little tiny like 3-string lute guitars a couple years ago, and dude, he didn't want to touch it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I start playing guitar, and he's like, "Okay." He picks it up for a minute, and he's like, "Nah." He starts banging on stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right."
Did you have anyone that played instruments, or did you just pick it up on your own?
Nah, man, I just picked it up. I think like when I was 2 or so, I used to ride around listening to like new metal and stuff, and I don't know. I remember like Rob Zombie being a big thing for me when I was a little kid. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. Something with music always kind of stuck with me, and I don't know. I knew that that's what I wanted to do and be a part of, you know. Self-taught everything. I've never taken any lessons or anything like that. Probably should, but
yeah,
you know.
I mean, if you do, I mean, you're only going to learn the basics. Then you're going to learn your own style.
Yeah.
You know, people always are like, "Oh, I need to take drum lessons, or I need to take this lesson." That's cool because you learn the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Which is helpful, but at the end of the day, you're going to learn your own style.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to go to school and be a vocalist. Like I'm going to learn how to do. You know, it's like no. You're not going to learn all that. You're going to learn how to use your voice.
Right.
You're going to become your own monster. I mean, hell, I still don't even know how to play bass. I just eye candy on stage, I guess you'd say.
Hell yeah.
So when did you start playing instruments, and what was your first instrument you started playing?
So I started when I was 10, playing guitar. It was an acoustic guitar.
And how old are you now?
I'm about to be 28.
Okay, so you've been playing for about 18 years.
Yeah. It was a shitty Ibanez acoustic guitar I had. I was told I wasn't going to get an electric guitar until I learned how to play acoustic. Of course, at the time, I was like really into like Slipknot and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I can't play this on acoustic guitar. Fuck that. Ended up getting a drum set a couple years later. Played on that for a little while. Learned the intro to Eyeless by Slipknot, which was fucking cool. Then swapped to vocals. I was doing vocals when I was like 13. I played my first show with Guerrilla Warfare, Atomic Chronic, and Out Cold was supposed to be playing.
Wow. Where was that at? Was that at the Coup?
Yeah. First Coup. But it was wild because we were like a metalcore band or like wannabe deathcore band.
What was the name?
Drown This City.
Okay.
Wasn't a great band, but
and I'm sure I probably made the flyer, and I'm sure it's somewhere. And if I find it, I will post it.
Hell yeah.
So that was your first band. How old were you then?
13. So the first time I played my first show. So.
Scared?
Yeah, I was fucking nervous, dude. I had stage fright like a motherfucker, standing up there all like stiff, just screaming into a microphone. I remember getting off stage and fucking
13.
Yeah, it was something, man. It was cool. John Suter and Mason Shriver from my band 12 Gauge Gospel were in that band.
Okay.
And another guy named Evan, and for a while we had a bassist named Caleb. That was pretty cool, but like, I don't know, man. I was really into like Attack and stuff like that around that time.
Yeah. That's the Attack singer now. That's the Beartooth singer. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, they were. It was fun, man. I remember getting off stage and some of the Chronic Crew dudes were like, "Hey, man, you guys play metal, but you guys were cool." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm about it."
The Cron was cool, man.
Dude,
always had some good shows watching them guys play.
Fuck yes, man. Like
some of the awesome dudes, and I'm sure you know them all. You know?
Yeah.
I was actually me and Mark were talking about there was the Chronic, and then or there's the Atomic Chronic, and the Cron. Yeah, it was all good
so
stuff.
fucking good.
Did you? I'm not sure if you came to that show. Taken Under and the Cron played at Section 125
no.
on Franklin Street.
God, I wish I could have made that show, man.
The Cron came out and they did Skid Row. I can't remember what Skid Row song but they did Rat Round and Round.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's so sick, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But it was Cron style. So.
Dude, that's so sick.
You said, so you were 13 doing that band. How many shows did y'all do?
Oh God, maybe 10 to 15. We didn't do a whole lot. Mostly shows at the Coup. our music was just, oh god, it wasn't thrown together very well. I'm grateful for it, of course.
You learned from it.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, I was doing like inhale vocals, and that was not so great. We put out a demo like the summer after we started, I think, and that demo was god awful. We recorded it right there. University and Franklin, I think. There was a studio called like Blasting Zone or something.
Yeah. I never knew it was a studio.
Yeah. We recorded there, and I think we recorded the whole EP in like 2 days. And
who recorded it?
I think the guy's name was Jeffrey. I don't know his last name.
Okay.
Which, I mean, we're props to that dude. That dude was an incredible drummer and stuff, but you can't make a band sound good if they don't sound good. So.
No. That's like when people sing, like you sing and it's like, all right, that's what I got. I can't do much with that.
Yeah.
So you did that. You did that for a little bit. You got a demo, which I'm sure you still have it.
No, but I think somewhere Jacob Bailey does the whole archive thing.
Yeah.
I think it's in the archive somewhere.
That there was a Gmail folder. Or
Yeah.
Google Drive somewhere. I need to get back on that because there was a lot of good stuff on there.
Dude, so much good
CPS,
stuff. Yeah, dude.
You know? There's a lot of good stuff, and it's crazy how much talent and how much bands were in this town, dude.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
You know?
I go back and I'm like then I was like, oh man, this town sucks, and then now I'm like, dude, there was so much good shit here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whoa.
And there's only a handful of bands that will stick around for a little bit, you know. But I mean, I get it. You do it for a little bit. You want to move on, do something else. 12 Gauge Gospel was on there, right? On that site, I think.
Yeah.
So, I'll get in that. I'll get in that later then. There was a Clark's Vegas. There was a website called ClarksVegas.com back in the day, and it was with all the bands on there. There was CPS, Jungle Fever, Burger Run. This guy Ryan Shoulders. Now that I'm thinking of names, I can't think of all the guys' names. I can't think of his name right now. Oh, Daniel Bendorf.
Oh yeah.
Daniel Bendorf. He just take acoustic guitar, make it sound great. Take a fucking Weasler or whatever it's called, a little piano thing, make it good. They were all those that little group there. They had a little bunch of sites, CPS, you know.
Oh yeah, man.
Actually, Zach lives right down the street here. He lives on the Mill.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
He lives between here and that Kenwood Church.
Oh okay, hell yeah.
So after your first band, I can't remember what you said the name was again.
Drown the City.
Drown the City. Okay. What was next?
We took a break for a little while. I didn't do music for a bit. Me and the drummer Mason had played around for a bit, and I picked up bass, and I was like, all right, well, we could do something with this. And then, I don't know, some years went by, and him and John had started 12 Gauge Gospel as like a 2-piece southern metal, doom metal band.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I'm really into this. They showed me Sleep's Holy Mountain, and I was like, oh fuck, I love this shit. Like this is the pinnacle for me.
So you weren't into like doom metal and that kind of stuff. I know I'm learning about all that now like the doom era. But anyway, so what were you into before that?
Oh shit, dude.
That whole Slipknot phase stuff.
So I went through the new metal phase and then straight into like black and death metal, and that was my thing for forever. Like my whole, I don't know, almost all of high school for me was like fucking black metal and death metal. And then I got into hardcore and I was like, all right, I'm fucking about this. Probably my senior year in high school, I really, really, really got into like hardcore and punk and stuff, and did like a bunch of deep dives, and fuck, dude, like insane.
That's one thing that's a plus for say like YouTube or Spotify, because we all shit on Spotify, but look how many bands have gotten more fans and listeners because it's easier to find about. For instance, you're listening to Terror, and then it's like, oh, you may like these bands. You're like, oh, let me check out this stuff, and you're like, by the end of the day, you got like 20 new bands that you want to check out. You know, so you listen to that stuff. What was like as a child? What's like one of the bands that you remember sticking out that you're like, oh, okay.
Oh man, that's a tough question.
Because I'm sure you always have, I'm sure, music playing as a kid. You know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The first one that really, really got me was Slipknot, man.
Yeah.
Something about like their aesthetic of wearing these masks and looking all fucked up, and I was like, dude, these guys are great. And then their music was just so, like, their first couple of albums at least were just fucking balls to the wall, like so much emotion in them. And I was like, all right, this is where it's at. And then once I moved on from that, Cannibal Corpse was my thing for a while. I got into Dark Throne for a bit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Burzum. But then moved on to like Minor Threat and Misfits and stuff like that.
You just got a whole eclectic, that's good, because even if you don't listen to that stuff anymore, it still influences your music, I'm sure, a lot.
Absolutely.
And you were just saying like the first few Slipknot albums, I mean, even though they're a little different now, I mean, I still think they're a solid fucking band.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mind that. I mean, once everybody realized, okay, yeah, that's Corey's Corey, and I like how he mixes his vocals, because he's a great vocal, like he can scream, he can sing, he can do it all, and I've seen the acoustic covers he does of like Prince and all that stuff, it's like, wow, okay, this guy got it going on.
Oh yeah, man.
Did you see recently where they got, or I guess last weekend they got back together, well, not back together, but they got the old 90, or
oh yeah, dude,
that was pretty cool.
I wish they were touring here. I would totally go see him, but it's not anywhere around here.
I wanted to go see Manson because he's coming. It's Manson, but it's with Five Finger Death Punch. Like, I mean, they're people like him, and I respect that. But I don't want to. I'm not going to pay all that money just to see Manson, and I'm sure he's only going to have like a 40-minute set.
Yeah.
And there's somebody else actually on that bill that's really good too. It's that's in that same area. But anywho, all right. So that's going on, and you took a break with. And then when did you start? So 12 Gauge Gospel. That I think Take an Underplay with 12 Gauge Gospel.
Yeah. I think we played one or two shows together. I joined the band after they kind of like got established. I think they started around like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. And they were just doing their thing for a while. And I was like, you guys need a fucking bassist. I'm like, I mean, it's cool, the 2-piece thing. I was like, but you guys need low end. And they were like, fuck it, you're in the band. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I don't know how to play bass, but I'll learn. I was like, I can play guitar a little bit, but we'll get there. And then we started practicing a lot. I was over there hanging out all the time, and we were doing that for a good while. Played this weird warehouse show where it was like you spin like a wheel, and it determined what bands, or like what order the bands went in.
Really?
And it was weird. Jungle Fever played, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was funky.
You were you living down the street at the time?
I was living kind of towards Mason, like off of Martha's Chapel Road, south side. Because I grew up in Palmyra, across the river out in the fucking country.
Where everybody would go and go look at the headless statue.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember when Taken Under. I was looking the other day through Taken Under flyers, so we were looking for a certain show, and I saw. I was like, cause me and Mark were talking. We're like, man, what? He was in another band, and I'm like, man, what the. Oh, right here, 12 Gauge Gospel.
Yeah.
And I clicked on it there. You are fucking just dommed out,
Fucking violin bass I was playing for a while.
That
was wild.
So, is I know, because I know you're all around on playing instruments. Is bass your shit?
It was. After I jumped over to playing guitar in my current band, guitar is more of my thing now. I still love bass, but like just for my main instrument, I'd say guitar now.
And that current band is Ritual Caster, correct?
Yeah. Ritual Caster.
So now, Ritual Caster, was that Gravity Cosmonaut beforehand?
Yeah, it was.
Why the change of name?
I don't know, man. We had a bunch of member changes and stuff for a while, and I had that name floating around for a while because I ordered this Mad amp. It was one of those green amps.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to get a custom faceplate, but what do I want it to say? And I was just like sitting there stewing on it for a while, and I was like, Ritual Caster sounds like ominous and like occulty and badass. I was like, all right. And we had a few lineup changes and stuff. Dusty was actually drumming for us for a little bit, and
for Gravity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. But after those few lineup changes and stuff, Dusty left. 'Cause he had his own stuff, his kids, which totally understand that.
For sure. Family first, man.
Yeah. And I totally getting stretched too thin, so I was like, all right, dude, totally understand that. So our bassist at the time swapped to drums, and I was like, dude, just like clean slate it, like keep all of our material, but like just new name, have like a new era for us. At the time, I was listening to this band called Conan a lot.
Yep. Okay.
Fucking amazing people and amazing band. They're heavy as fuck, and it's kind of the direction I wanted to go to.
All right.
So I was like, dude, let's just clean slate it, keep our stuff so we have material still, but like work towards this new endeavor for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, well, fuck it, I got this name, and everybody was like, okay, cool.
It's a cool name. When I went back the other day and listened to the demo you put out, earlier last year, or what was the last one you just put out?
We put one out. Oh fuck, I don't remember the exact date. I think it was last year though.
It's fucking loud.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have a show coming up at the Rebel House, and it's gonna be loud.
Yeah.
But so I noticed, like, I was looking today. I was going. Oh, my speaker. I was looking on today. I was listening to the Gravity Cosmonaut stuff, and that's when I realized, wait a second, it's the same band because Nessie's on there, Nessie's on there, but they sound so different.
Yeah.
You know, and there was another song, a couple more songs, but they all sound different. You know, it's like you reworked them.
Yeah. Our bassist Troy, he lives an hour and a half from here in Huntington, Tennessee, which is like past Paris.
All right.
I actually met him because I was, you know me, I'm constantly selling gear and shit. I was selling a Sun concert slave head, and his dad had messaged me on Facebook, and he was like, hey, I want to buy this, but I can't until next week. Do you mind holding it for me? And I was like, yeah, that's fine, man. I can, you know, if you're serious about buying it, I'll hold it.
For sure.
And he was like, all right, I'll drive to you. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he messaged me back, and he was like, hey, I see you're friends with my son on Facebook. At the time, I didn't really think of anything because so many Facebook friends and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, please don't tell him. This is a graduation present. I'm like, okay, cool, man. At the time, I was working at Liberty Park. He came and met me. I think it was 2019 at work. And, maybe it was 2018. But he came and met me at work and was like, yeah, my son really likes your music and stuff. I was like, okay, cool. And then I started getting together with Troy. He bought a Sun Model T, and that was like at the time fucking pinnacle of an amp for me. That was like my goal to get one of those. And I messaged him and I was like, hey man, you ever want to get rid of that, let me know. And he was like, no, I'm never getting rid of it. I was like, all right, I get you, man. But he was in a band called Glenhaven, and they put out a demo, and I was like, dude, this is fucking sick, we need to get together and jam sometime. So we started jamming, and opportunity arose for him to be our bass player. And I was like, dude, you live an hour and a half away, but we can work this out. Like, we can swap practice spaces or whatever. And since he's became a part of the band, he's been like integral on, like, I don't know, everything, dude. Like, all the stuff that's out now, the newer stuff, he recorded, mixed, and mastered at his house.
Okay, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. He's done it all. He's constantly coming up with new riffs and song ideas, and I'm fucking thankful for that. And he is now, along with playing bass, our second vocalist as well, so we share vocal duties. I'm stoked on that.
So, I mean,
technically
now you would say that Ritual Caster is like you and his is like child.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We still
are you a 3-piece?
4.
Okay.
My brother-in-law Dylan plays guitar. He was in Gravity Cosmonaut as well.
Okay.
And then our very first drummer for Gravity Cosmonaut, Tyler Dean, who's also in Really Bad People, plays drums for us again.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna go back a few years. You probably don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna bring it up.
That's fine.
Suppression.
Oh man.
Or were you? Did you do Hollowed Soul as well?
No. It was just Suppression. Okay. It was only a few shows. At the time, it was like right when I had started 12 Gauge Gospel, and they were like, well, we're not trying to play too many shows yet. We need to get better and practice a lot more. And I was like, well, I want to play shows. So I saw Matt Crossley. Is that his name? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw him post on the Musicians of Clarksville looking for a bass player, and I was like, I'll give it a go.
How long have you been playing bass at this time?
Oh, God, I was probably 18 or 19, so 5 or 6 years maybe.
Okay, all right. So you weren't too fresh.
No. But yeah, I started playing with them, and I was like, new metal stuff's not my thing. We played, I think, one show together.
Yeah.
And that was with Mushroom Head at the Warehouse.
Oh, yes. All right.
Yeah.
Slipknot Junior?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, oh, cool, we're playing with a band that has, like, millions of views on YouTube. That's cool. And then I was leaving the show, and I went to go back, side stage, I guess, not backstage, but to go grab my bass amp, and one of the bouncers was like, you can't come back here. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, because Mushroom Head's about to go on. They don't want anybody back here.
Hell.
I was like, dude, my bass amp's back there and I'm about to leave. I was like, can I get my bass amp? And he was like, well, let me talk to them. And then he came back out and he handed me my bass amp and I was like, oh, okay, thanks, man.
I shouldn't say Slipknot Junior because they were around first. But how do they fit all them people on stage, I wonder? That's a lot of people.
Dude, insane.
Because that stage, I mean, this is a nice big stage, but with all their gear and all them, and their costumes too. Yeah. So all right, cool. I just wanted to bring that. I know it's just part of your musical life.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've only been in a couple bands, so everything's been okay. So, but I mean, mad respect to Matt. He works his ass off. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude.
Yeah. He's been doing his thing for a while, man.
Yeah.
I can respect that for sure. I mean, keeping the same band around for that long is a task.
With the majority of the same people, I think maybe just like a guitar player comes and goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they've been around for a good while, and he has his vocal range is everywhere. He can do so much. Really, really good dude. All right, so we got Ritual Caster, and that's your current band.
Yep.
So what do you want to do? Oh, actually, hold on. Let me rewind.
Yep.
So Ritual Caster played last year, Money Roots, or the year before last?
2021. We've been trying to get back on.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been trying to get back on. Like every time they're like, send band submissions. I'm like, all right, we'll send band submissions. And one of the guys that co-runs it, forget his name. I think it's Milton. He was standing on the side of the stage, and my bassist was telling me that like when we got off stage, he was like, "This is the fastest I've seen this small tent packed out before and stuff." And I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" And he was like, "Well, hope see you guys soon." And I was like, "Well, hopefully we'll be back next year." And he was like, "You will be." I was like, "Well, I'm waiting on it still."
How'd you guys get on it,
dude? This chick named Twiggy posted on Facebook, I think.
Okay.
And she has a booking agency, or did. Okay. I don't know if she still does. But she was like, hey, I'm booking the small tent at Muddy Roots. A band fell off. I need one ASAP.
Oh, wow.
She said, like, it has to be heavy, and you have to be good. And I was like, well, I'm going to throw our name in the hat, see how it goes. And she hit me up, and she was like, hey, yeah, you guys can play. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm all about that. I think that year Bongzilla played.
Wow.
That was fucking awesome.
They, who else played that year?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know it was a lot of punk bands. I think Off played.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
Yeah, that
Keith
was
Morris.
Yeah, dude.
I saw him 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Oh hell yeah!
It was Circle Jerks, Descendants, and Adolescence.
Hell yeah!
Nashville was a good show. But yeah,
God.
I mean that's cool that you got to play that, man. It's an experience too, huh?
Oh yeah, man.
What time of day did you play?
It was like 2 PM, but it was still so sick. Like, I'm in a bunch of like pedalboard groups on Facebook and stuff, and this guy ran into me and he was like, "I know you from Facebook." I was like, "Oh hell yeah, that's what's up, man." It was pretty cool. I would definitely love to go and play again, post-COVID era, because then I was like, I was masked up the whole time.
Up, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, though. It would be cool though to get back on it. I'm sure. I know like the last year's lineup, fucking Suicidal, fucking Guar,
so good.
It's like it's getting bigger, but it's still keeping that Muddy Roots feel.
Yeah.
It's not like other fests that once they start getting bigger bands, they start changing, they get sponsors and but
the first year I went was 2018. It was maybe a week before my son was born, if that. Sleep, High on Fire, and Ohm played, and this was before I stopped smoking and stuff, and I remember like sitting there watching Ohm just fucking hitting a joint, and dude, like I was up against the stage, and they were so loud, the stage was like rattling my chest. I was like, oh god, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. But yeah, and then about a week later, my son was born. I was like, well, that was an experience.
Yeah, now you got to be the dad.
Yeah.
So you're in Ritual Caster. You guys haven't played in how many years?
We played last April at.
So a year ago.
Yeah. At Springwater in Nashville.
Okay. Who'd you play with?
Oh god. Wolvenhand, Fairy Ring, and I won. Wicked Trip.
Okay.
Wicked Trip are cool dudes too.
It's a cool little venue.
Oh, dude, yeah. The sound guy, rest his soul, Nick, he was fucking awesome, man. Every time we played there, we were like, we don't want cabs on our mics. We want to fucking turn up, just mic our drum set, mic the vocals. We'll be good to go. And he was like, okay, cool.
I mean, technically, that place is so small you don't need a mic.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these venues want to mic everything, but sometimes just the kick.
Yeah.
You know, and the vocals, obviously.
Yeah.
What is that? That's like it's one of the oldest bars in.
Yeah, I think it's the oldest dive bar in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
I think they said like Al Capone or somebody like that. Or not Al Capone, somebody like that.
Yeah.
That era where I used to go there and drink or something.
That's sick.
I know the name. I've looked it up and I've read articles about the place. It's a cool. I've never gotten to play there, but I've seen plenty of shows there.
It's a cool place, man.
Right by McDonald's.
Hell yeah.
So Ritual Caster is playing May 11th.
Yep.
With Fuzz Ripper, Dead Ruins, and Neo Vatra, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. And that's at the Rebel House.
Yeah.
So that night you're gonna be pulling double duty. Correct?
Oh yeah, I'm stoked about that, man. I really wanted to play back to back, but Dead Runes wants to play second, so it's gonna be Fuzz Ripper, Dead Runes, us, and then Neo Vatra.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I was like, man, I don't mind playing back to back. As like get that energy going and keeping it. That's fine with me. I know, like in between for Dead Runes, I'm gonna have to like take a couple shots or something like that. Get it going again.
Well, I mean, but it's kind of different though because you're playing bass in one band, you're playing guitar in the other, correct?
Yeah.
So and you're doing vocals on it.
Yeah.
It's a different. I mean, at least you don't have to do vocals in both bands.
Yeah. Fuzz Ripper is by far the hardest material think I've ever fucking learned for any band. Dusty is a fucking virtuoso writing and like structuring songs and stuff. I was super intimidated when he asked me to join, but I was like, you know what? Dusty is like scene veteran, awesome guy. He can do any style of music. I loved when he was in Gravity Cosmonaut with us. I was like, I would love to play bass. And then I started learning the songs, and I was like, fuck, this is hard. I was like, oh my God.
So, are you a full-time member, or are you guys just like, say, quote unquote, a hired gun?
Oh, no. We're full-time members. Dusty does most of pretty much all of the writing and stuff like that. But I think, after this next album that he's working on gets done, I think we'll all have like kind of more of a creative input on everything. Not to say we don't now, but Dusty, for the stuff that he's written,
has a vision.
Yeah, for the stuff he's written so far, he knows what he wants, and I respect that, and I'm all for it. Like, Fuzz Ripper is probably the most tight band I've ever been in as well. It's a lot of work.
It's good stuff, man. I remember when he was posting all of it, like when it was first starting up, he would just put a little clip of the Jack the Ripper guy and shit, and I was like, with the little swirly logo in the back, and I was like, all right, cool. You want to bring them in, so you want to have something cool imagery, so you're bringing them in. Then he had those little like a 30 second clips, whatever, of like just the music and the videos. I was like, all right, okay. And then when I heard it, I was like, all right, I get it now. You know, it's I don't even know how to describe the music because I don't even know how to describe it. I thought it was going to be like some power metal, and I guess kind of you could say that. But the theatrics to it, and one thing I liked about it the other night, which was the first time I ever got to see him, was how he has the lighting set up with the music. Now, I mean, I kind of got from the computer and the monitor. Now, is that the music actually playing?
So
and then so you guys have to be on.
Yeah, we have a click track in-ear monitors for that. So we're playing to a click track. Our drummer's playing to the click track and the music, I believe. So we're like, it's like have to be on point kind of thing. And there's a couple times I fucked up and I'm like, oh God, I noticed this. I don't know if anybody else did, but I definitely did.
Yeah. It was really cool. I was like, my biggest thing was, I was like, that monitor's going to fall.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking. But then again, you guys don't move around. So
Yeah.
And, and when Dusty gets up there and those little guitar solos, Dusty shreds, man. I always say this when I talk about him. First time I ever saw Dusty was Taken Under played a show with one of his earlier bands when he was still in the high school. They were called Assault.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, and they did like AC/DC, Metallica, covers and shit, man. They were ripping back then. I was like, fuck, these kids are good. Dude. And then to see him later when he was like, I can't remember all the bands he was in because he's been in a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My Friend the Ghost was great.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they're called? My Friend the Ghost. Yeah, they were amazing. Really, really, really good. I booked them a few different times for some shows at the Coup, and then he did his little country thing for a little bit. And then I don't know, he's been in so many. But Fuzz Ripper by far is classic. Dad Bop's the other one, right?
Yeah.
It's him, the guitar player.
Yeah, Tommy.
And then Josh now from G-Dub. And is that it?
I don't remember.
No, Jason.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Jason
on
was in
bass.
it. Yeah. I was like, I'm blanking on who was playing bass. But it was totally Jason.
Talking about bass for Fuzz Ripper, his wife used to play bass, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Now she sets up all the lighting, I saw.
Yeah. She wants to do synth at some point. So that would be fucking killer. I was showing her those Roland synth guitars from like the 80s that sound like shit. Yeah. I was like, but it would be cool looking. But I was like, that would be badass if she came back to do synth. Since I joined the band, I was like, dude, we need like a fucking guitar player.
it would fit so much, you know? I was really impressed though, and I told Dusty that, I don't think I told him that, and I told you, but I didn't think I saw him after a show, but he wrote me the next day, and I was like, dude, you guys are fucking tight. Like, I mean, I can see you guys put some work in. Appreciate it for sure, man. It's been a challenge learning everything, and I still, like, there's a couple of songs where I'm like, what the fuck, every time I play them, but like, I don't play exactly how they are recorded on the album because some of that shit is just way too complicated. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna simplify it a little bit, but still keep it in the pocket with it. Yeah. But yeah, it's that Fuzz Ripper stuff, dude. It's been one of my favorite bands to be a part of. Fuck yeah, man, that's awesome. Now, did he record all that stuff? I think the first album he did. The second one he's recorded guitars, I think, or no. He went to a guy named Jeremiah Scott. I think he's still part of Demon Hunter. Okay, yeah. He has a studio around Nashville somewhere, and Is that where he recorded Dad Bop at? I'm not too positive on that one. Right. But I know Jeremiah. He's done all of our new stuff that's not out yet. Cool. But he's dude, his studio's nuts. Dusty was showing me pictures. Dusty played fuck, I'm blanking on the name of the guitarist. Is it the place that does analog recordings? I don't think he does. Okay. I know there was a studio that Dusty had gone to that did analogs and stuff. Yeah. The guitarist of Judas Priest. Okay, wow. Dusty met him, played his guitar at Jeremiah's studio. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, all right. That's badass. That is pretty cool. So new Fuzz Rippers on the way then? Mm-hmm. Did you so he's recording all this as well? Yeah. I think for the most part, but I think we're sending it to Jeremiah for mixing and mastering and stuff like that. I'm not. I want to say he also recorded guitars there and drums. I'm not 100% sure on that. All I know is this new stuff is going to be insane. Just as good, dude. God, it's so catchy. It's he described it one day when we were at practice. He was like, "Yeah, it's just like pop disguised as metal," and I was like, "That's perfect," because it is like everything is so catchy and like it still feels like that 80s metal kind of feel, but it's so good, man. Dude, he's a beast. He like when I was watching him the other night, I was like, man, this boy, he just shreds up there, dude. Like I said, the band sounds really good, and I kind of gathered, like you were saying, that you guys, I guess I should have thought about the click track, but just to see that you guys were like so tight, and I was watching, I was like, oh, and then I was like, and there goes the light. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was really cool. And I always fucking forget the drummer's name. Josh. Okay, yeah. He's a beast, dude. Josh is such a good guy too. He's a beast, dude. He's one of the nicest. Mm-hmm. You know, he's so nice. You know, and I was just sitting there. You know, I sat in my little corner and just watched everybody. You know, people watch. You know, yeah, that's what I like to do now. Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, the 11th, I'll definitely be at that show. It's fuck yeah. You know, my brothers in Neo Vatra. You know, hell yeah. Mark and Jason. You know, they taking under boys. Yeah. You know. You gotta get up there and do some vocals, man. I need to do something soon, man. Because watching everybody the last couple of years, like I'm like, fuck, man. Like, well, I guess last year I went to back in July of last year. I saw Neo Vatra play at Rebel House. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then Modern Primate, I think, played 2, and then but I haven't really been going to many local shows, which I need to, do that. I'm not like an elitist. I'm like, I'm not going to these shows anymore, But I am saying that sometimes, I just don't do it. I mean, I need to get out, but I will go to that. I'm gonna go to that show for sure.
I've got a bad issue. Like, I feel bad because I am no part of the scene anymore at all. But dad life and work comes first. If we get a chance to play a show, that's cool. But that's also a lot of time out of my day, like spending with my family and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, I can't go to many shows, but I can still play some shows.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and honestly, man, that feel on stage is like. Let me ask you a question. When you when you first got on stage, you were doing vocals and stuff, and once you actually play, like, because I was nervous as shit when I played my first show ever. I was nervous, bro, and I was old. I think I was like 29. You know what I'm saying? Because I TU asked me to play, and I was like, I don't want to play bass. They taught me, how to play. Well, I mean, what I do, I call it playing. When that first show, I was like, stop here. It's like the last gas station before we were in Dry County. I was like, I had to buy two tall boys.
Yeah.
And I drank them, and I was still nervous, man. We get to the venue. We're playing Backwoods Metal Fest up in Katy, Kentucky. And this is 2002, maybe.
Yeah.
2002, 3-ish. And get up on stage. I'm setting my shit up. Still, even though I didn't know how to fucking set this shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
But then I get ready. Like, are y'all ready? And I'm like, no, I ain't ready. I'm fucking nervous as shit,
right?
But once I hit that first note, it was all she wrote.
Oh, yeah, dude.
This stage whore came out of me,
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I've been ever since, But yeah, you'll never have that feeling ever again, though.
No, man, not at all. Yeah, that was me. Like, we got through our set, dudes in the Chronic and stuff were like, you guys were sick, and since then I've been like, all right, cool. If they don't like metal and they said we were sick, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm like, all right, I'm for it.
Yeah, it's always cool though when you got your peers and stuff to say you're good,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, though, I mean, I think we're all like that. Would we really tell our friends their band sucks?
I mean,
after their first show.
After the first show, no.
But later on, I'd be like, dude, y'all fucking suck.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've seen enough people that. And I'm not just saying that because my friends, but I think most of the time I see a friend's band, I give that, okay, this is their first or second show, But, I mean, hell, people said, we suck, I'm just whatever,
Hey, man, I'm not for that.
So what was we talked about the bands and stuff. What was one of the first concerts you ever went to?
Actually, the first concert I ever went to, I was like 13 or 14. I went to see Alice in Chains. And I forget the name of this other band. Some other band opened up for him.
Was that at Ryman?
I think so. Yeah, that band got booed off stage.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it was like a 2-piece band, and they were like some like power pop band or something.
Oh man,
dude, they got booed off stage, and that was right when William came in, was doing vocals for Alice in Chains, and that was fucking tight, dude. Like,
he's good.
Yeah, so good. I always wanted to go to a show and stuff, but like how I was growing up. Where I was growing up, it was never a possibility.
Got you.
I was basically raising kids when I was a kid, so...
Yeah. He's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he is in the hardcore punk scene, dude. And I'm like, wow. Like, that dude's like... And it's crazy to see... Like, it's not crazy, I guess, because everybody likes everything. But there's so many people that are from the hardcore punk scene that are in different, they sing in bands like, say, Alice in Chains, or and I think that's so rad,
dude.
Just like Randy, I always say this, Randy from Lamb of God. Mm-hmm. He's not in the metal, he's in the fucking like punk rock, and that's all. But he jams on that,
Yeah,
cool.
It's nuts, man. That was fucking killer.
But it's a good concert, first show.
Oh yeah, dude. It was awesome. Since then, I was like, all right, I got to keep going to shows. I didn't actually go to the Coup until I don't know, probably 6 months later. And then I started going a lot. And one thing that really sticks...
Which location?
The
Crossland location?
Yeah, Crossland. Yeah. That place was the fucking pinnacle. Much love to Zach for having that place because, oh, God, dude. So many good shows. There's this band out of Murfreesboro. I don't know if you remember them. They were called Guide. Dude, Oh my God. They were like this like crusty, hardcore, like fucking really fast-paced band. And... saw them play one time. I don't remember exactly who they played with. I think there was a band called I Speak Fluent Woman that played with them.
Okay.
And, dude, they were playing on the floor, and the drummer's just sitting there blast beating. And then...
Downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay.
And there's like a fucking mosh back and forth. I was standing on the little quarter pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging onto the rafters. And, dude, his cymbals got knocked over and everything, and he was just, like, still just blast beating away. I was like, this band's fucking sick.
That was definitely one of my favorite venues myself. I'm glad... I'm happy that they let me book some shows there back in the day. There's a show. One of my favorite shows that I got to play there was with Ringworm.
Oh, dude, yes.
Were you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So sick.
It was a great fucking show.
So
dude.
good. I think like a week or two before that, Dr. Acula had played with Chakotay, and that was so fucking awesome, man. I was like, oh god. I saw Dr. Acula play there a couple times. It's great.
What did I called him. I didn't know that's how you. I didn't say it like that. But anyway, not the Ringworm show there. I don't even remember now. We played several shows there. I booked some good shows there too, like Donnybrook and Kron played there a few times for me. I can't remember all the bands. I have so many fucking bands that I booked there, man. Kids Like Us. No, maybe I was in Nashville. I get so many shows mixed up from when because me and Mark used to book a bunch of shows in Nashville and here in Clarksville too. Hardcore shows and shit. Rest in peace. All three locations of the coup.
Oh, God, so good, man. Yeah. Every location was different, but it was all like
still DIY.
So fucking awesome, man. I think that's where my love for it comes from, man. Like the whole DIY thing. It's like I saw them doing it, and they were like booking shows and like getting these like badass bands there and stuff, and they were doing like all genres. They had that badass kitchen on the Crossland Avenue one, like so much good food. Did you
go to see Tony Danza when they played there?
Dude, I so wish I would have been there for that.
I booked them. I booked Look What I Did. I booked there.
Oh god,
that Tony Danza show. There was and I can't remember the guy playing drums at the time. He's from because they all at that current time of Tony Danza, there were so many people came from different bands. I think I can't remember now. I always get because there's so many bands from this area that made it big, like Straight Line Stitch and stuff, and Straight Line Stitch had members of every like one of the guitar players from I think Every Time I Die in it. Like,
oh shit!
Like one of the ones that wasn't in the band. Tony Danza was ripping that place up. That was pretty cool,
dude. Yeah,
and the sound was always good.
Yeah, dude. So great. I wish I could have seen that fucking... I heard about it. Wish I could have been there for sure. My brother-in-law was just talking about that a few weeks ago. He said he saw them there, and I was like, really? Oh, God. I was like, sucks. I wish I would have been there. Josh Travis is an insane guitarist, too. I saw his other band, Glass Cloud, play.
Glass Cloud's good.
Oh, God, dude. That was awesome. I saw them play with, like, Whitechapel. I forget who else. It was in Nashville when I was in high school.
Did you see Cattle Decap play at the coup?
No, but I saw them play at the Warehouse, and that was fucking amazing.
Who the fuck did they play with at the Warehouse?
Dude, they played with Cannibal Corpse at the Warehouse.
Oh, that show.
Yeah.
The fucking line was wrapped around the fucking building to get in.
Dude, yeah.
That's when the Warehouse was like started getting all them shows, ICP was there, it sold out.
Yeah.
That's the Cottonmouth Kings that played there. It's crazy to see what I've played at the Warehouse, and it was mad respect for them at getting those shows at the time, man. Like,
oh, yeah.
So many dope fucking bands came. Like, who would have thought fucking Fear Factory would play Clarksville?
Right.
Soulfly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw Fear Factory. They played Battlecross and Soilwork.
That's the one I did not go to.
Oh, okay.
G-Dub opened that show.
Yeah.
Battlecross was so good.
Oh, dude, they were so awesome. It was either their guitarist or their singer that was getting pissed off at whoever was running sound. It wasn't Doug. It was some other guy. He was like, I need more on the monitor. And the guy was just shaking his head no. He, like, fucking moved the monitor off to the side of the stage. I was like, damn.
Doug's a good sound guy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I saw him the other... I know he does Wicked Goods now, and I'm like... Not many shows go on there, huh, I guess?
Yeah, I don't think so anymore. Wicked Good was our venue for a while, man. I love playing there. It's always badass to play there. Jason's always like... Every time I'm like, hey, can you not mic up our cabs or anything? He's just like, yeah, I know. Which, respect for that, because most sound people get fucking pissed at me in general for bringing the rigs we bring.
Oh, bro. That place is so small. They could hear you down the street.
Dude, yeah. We, I think the last time we played there, we were still... No.
We played with you. We played with... it was Taken Under, Autumn Light Buried, Guerrilla Warfare, and Gravity Cosmonaut.
Yeah.
I just happened to find that flyer recently too. When I was going through looking for shit about you guys, that was a good show. But that was the first time I ever saw you guys, and I was like, cause I didn't know much, and I wasn't dogging him. I looked at Mark, and I was like, is he just screaming in the mic?
Yep.
And then Mark was like, nah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because you were playing bass at the time,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But did you go back to guitar at the moment, and then you had to go back to bass? Did you flip-flop back and forth every once in a while? Or was that 12 gauge?
No, I did for a little bit with Gravity. I was writing guitar parts, but live I was playing bass.
Got you. Is it easier for singing or no?
It's about the same.
Yeah.
The bass lines are the same as the guitar parts, so it's not much of a difference. The only thing that was weird to me was swapping to smaller strings when I switched to guitar.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, these strings are so close together. This is funky.
Yeah.
But I had played guitar plenty of times before, so I was like, all right, I got this. I wrote some of the songs on guitar myself. Our guitarist at the time had like taken them and like made them into songs, and I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's different. Like, we hadn't practiced since the last time we played a show.
Really?
Like a year. We just got together a couple weeks ago at Troy's house, and I was like, oh, dude, it's like we never missed a beat. Never stopped practicing or nothing.
That's some of the best time getting back together. When you say you haven't jammed in like 4 months.
Yeah.
That first practice back, it's like, we didn't need to practice. You know?
Yeah.
It's your solidest, most tightest fucking, practice. Now, if you were going to play a show, it would not have been that smooth. Like, if you guys went to a show without playing for 4 months,
oh, dude,
you would have bombed.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
and that's how it goes, too. Like, it's wild. Every time we've practiced, like, between lineup changes and stuff, we're like, oh, fuck. Why did we even come to practice? And I'm like, you know what? It's probably good we did come to practice.
Yeah. So you do all the writing for Ritual? Or do you guys? I mean, I remember you saying he does too, but is it mostly your ideas and then he puts his flavor to it? Or?
It was for the longest time, not anymore. Cool. Troy has more ideas thrown towards now. He's a fucking riff writing fanatic, and he's extremely good at like any instrument he plays. Like, he can play bass, guitar, drums. He drums for a band called Wicked Trip, and they're like a doom band. They sound like Electric Wizard.
He liked the pod. He followed You Want It the other day. I was like, who is this dude? And I went to his page, and not that I wasn't going to follow it, but I'm like, oh, he's in Ritual Cast.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Troy's cool. I didn't find out until way after we were hanging out and jamming and stuff that he's the same age as my brother right underneath me. He's like 5 years younger than me.
Really?
And I was like, I would have never guessed because Troy's like fucking 6'3". He's a massive dude. And I was like, well, that could have fooled me.
Do you write all the lyrics or?
Yeah and no. Troy writes lyrics, but then is like, hey, tailor them to like for these riffs, like how you're gonna play, like if you can't sing all the lyrics,
take something out, but
work with them. And I'm like, all right, cool, that works for me.
Is it a lot of lyric or just like small little like repeating the same shit over and over?
So both. Some of the stuff is like, definitely more lyric writing. Some stuff doesn't make sense. Like we have a song called The Intimidator. I named it after Dale Earnhardt Sr.
For sure.
Has nothing to really do with Dale Earnhardt Sr., but, I'm like, well, I want a song named after him.
I mean, sometimes, the songs aren't always about what they're about.
Yeah. We were working on a concept album. Have you ever heard of Agartha? Like have you watched any of the newer King Kong movies and stuff?
Yeah.
So like the world inside of Earth or whatever?
Yeah.
So that's like an actual theory, hollow Earth theory. Like
because that's where, when I was watched, he had to go down there and get his power back.
And so like cave systems and stuff will come out into like forests. And back in, I think it was like 2016, this was when I was like in between jobs after COVID had happened and stuff, and at the time all I was doing was like selling off excess music gear and stuff, and I was like, man, I really want to write a concept album. So we watched that King Kong movie, and I was like, that sounds really cool. So I started looking into that, and like back in 2016, I think it was like BBC or ABC or some news channel, found a cave system and went into it, and it came out into a forest, and I was like, what the fuck? So we wrote this concept album of like back in like, I don't know, BC days. This guy gets outcasted from his tribe, wanders into a cave, and then comes out and finds this whole civilization in this forest. They befriend him, and then they end up sacrificing him to their god or whatever towards the end of the album. I'm not sure when that album will see the light of day. We have like almost the whole thing mapped out, demos recorded and stuff like that. And
how many tracks?
I think it was going to be 8 or 9. Right. 1 or 2 of them were going to be instrumental, like
an interlude type stuff. Or?
Yeah. We have one on Endless Existence that's kind of like just, I don't know, ethereal sounding and like, I don't know, just different. We're going to do that for a couple of tracks. But one song we have on our Bandcamp, it's called Conquest of the Ancients. Okay. And that was going to be towards the end of the album. But we just decided we recorded it and go ahead and release it now. That was recorded in 2 takes, I think.
How long is it?
I think it's like 5 or 6 minutes long.
Okay. What's the longest song you've ever written?
Oh God, that might be it.
Okay,
I'm not.
So nothing crazy
sure.
like fucking 14 minutes long.
No, not yet.
Yeah. And in respect to the bands that could do that shit, because my fucking mind is not there, and I would get so lost.
Well, I think the thing with that for me is like listening to Sleep's Dope Smoker, and like when I first found out, it's like this one song is the album, and it's over an hour long. I was like, all right, this is fucking tight. And then listening, like, it's basically the same riff over and over and over again. Yeah. They changed some parts, but I'm like, okay, well, if they can do it, we can do it. And that was originally, like, the concept, like, for Gravity Cosmonaut 2. Like, I was like, all right, well, 12 Gauge is their own thing. I wanted to add more of my, I don't know, black metal vocals or whatever I was doing at the time to it and make it heavier than what it was, which, you know, respect to doing the southern metal thing, that was fun.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like add more to it and be like more sludgy, I guess.
It's like sludge metal.
Yeah, and that's what we consider ourselves now. We're trying to get out of the doom box, because like, yeah, doom metal's cool and stuff, but like I don't listen to it on a daily basis. I listen to like emo music and 90s hip hop.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, you're not going to always listen to what you play.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I'm playing that shit. I don't want to hear it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like after a show. When you get off a show, you're not going to fucking put in fucking, you know, Cannibal Corpse in. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to put on the fucking chill down and relax, you know? I'm looking forward to hear the new stuff. I enjoyed the last stuff that I've heard. Who does all your artwork?
So for the Endless Existence, we found this guy on Instagram, or Troy did. His name's Grace XII. I don't know, 22, I guess. And he's out of somewhere in South America, I believe.
Okay.
And dude, he sold us the album artwork for like, I don't know, $50. I was like, oh shit, all right. He put our logo on there and everything, and I was like, this is fucking sick, man. And then the Conquest of the Ancients, the cover for it was AI art that Troy had done.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of like with the AI art stuff. This right here, the boys in Neo Vatra, they got, and I think you've seen this shirt. This right here.
Oh yeah, dude, that's so sick.
It's so dope. And some dude over in like Thailand or something did it.
Yeah.
You know, and for cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and because over there, one, they're just not trying to make that. They're not trying to hustle you. They're going to sell it to what, to make a couple bucks. But that design there, I'm like, wow, I really enjoy that.
Oh yeah, man, it's badass.
And you find people all over the place doing shit like that.
Yeah, they're just like, the exchange rates are crazy too. So they're like, oh yeah, $25. You're like, wait, what? I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
Don't try to ship nothing to those countries because it takes forever and it's expensive.
Oh yeah, man, I've shipped some amps to Canada and that was fucking rough.
How much was shipping on that?
I shipped a Sun 300T, so 300 watt bass amp. Shipped it over to the student Canada.
How much
and
it weigh?
It was 60 something pounds.
Okay.
It cost me like $325.
Yes, because see, I sell like a lot of my old merch myself, just to get rid of it because I'm known. I can be known as a pack rat, but who cares? I don't like to throw my history away. No. Anyway, but somebody was like, "Hey man, can you send it to Toronto?" And I'm like, I normally only ship, U.S., but I said, let me see what the shipping is. It was going to cost more to ship it than for him to pay for the shirt.
Oh shit!
I said, look, bro. I said, I don't want to deal with it because I got to deal with the customs and all.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm sorry, man. Unless you can find somebody in the States and you can drive over. I don't know if it's Toronto, whatever's up by Washington State up there, whatever up there. I'm bad with Canada. Sorry, guys. Even though I want to go visit. I was like, shipping out of shipping out of U.S. is expensive, but in the U.S. it's like dirt cheap, and you get it like in 2 days now.
Yeah.
I remember when I was young, it was like I mail you a letter from Tennessee to California, and it take like 2-3 weeks to get you. Now it's like you order a package on Monday, I'll have it by Friday.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You guys have any merch coming?
Hopefully soon. We were talking about getting a screen printing kit so we can do it ourselves.
Keep it DIY.
Yeah. That way, whenever we have a new idea, we can just throw it on there and be like, all right, cool. Instead of having to order bulk. We had those Gravity Cosmonaut shirts made. I forget the name of the company, but they're out of California, and it was like, I don't know, like $400 for 50 shirts, which, I mean, it's not bad, but
if you sold them for 20, that's a great. Hey, you're on the air with Russ and Dom.
What's up, What up, vato?
We're just doing a little interview here. Talking. We mentioned you a few times. I'll tell you what, man. I'll give you a holler back. I'll text you here in a few. Later, man. I mean, you figure though, you 50 shirts, $20. I mean, that's $1,000. You made $600.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to sell them all at one time, otherwise you sleep. I mean, I have one.
Yeah.
I think I made it all white trash and cut the sleeves off.
Hell yeah. I wish I still had one. Our guitarist, my brother-in-law Dylan, his mom had found one at her house, and she gave it to Dylan, and I was like, whoa, what a fucking blast from the past, man.
I like how you said it's a blast from the past. It's only like 6 years ago.
Yeah. Dude, to me, it seems like it's been forever.
But, I mean, to think, too, when you started doing all that, it was during fucking, right? You started all that before COVID, but then a lot of it was during COVID.
Yeah.
That was a rough period for a lot of bands, and it was a great period for bands.
Yeah.
There's a lot of COVID bands that came out. I was gonna say when you were talking about do the screen printing yourself, just make a stencil, get a can of spray paint.
Oh hell yeah!
There's a band, this band called This Is Hell, and they played the Muse one time, and they didn't have much merch because at some parts of the tour you start running out of merch. They had a stencil and they would just spray paint.
Oh yeah,
said This Is Hell, and they were selling for like $5-6.
That's so sick, man.
Hey, that's fucking do it yourself right there.
Oh
you
know
what
dude.
I'm saying? Those are good times. For I know you have a family and a kid and whatnot. I mean, that's why I said family. I mean, do you guys just plan doing local things, or do you guys plan doing something else, or are you just gonna see what happens?
Yeah, we're really just seeing what happens. We would like to play out. We were talking about maybe doing like a short little weekender run in Kentucky, but I mean, if we can get on bigger festivals out of state, we would totally be for it.
Never give up, man. Just keep fucking pushing them press packs out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And even if you see a band that you fucking
Yeah, we've tried going that route. Back was it 2018, 2019? Had to have been 2019. Black Label Society came through to O'Connor's.
Yeah. Did you go to there?
No, but it's funny because the band that was touring with them was Conan.
Okay.
And me and John have talked a few times on Facebook. I almost sold him a Marshall hit I had one time, but shipping was going to be nuts because he's from the UK.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, so he was like, no, it's cool. And I was like, all right, I understand. But I was like, man, if you guys are playing that date, we would love to open up. And he was like, well, unfortunately, we won't be on that date. And I was like, fuck. I was like, all right. No, I was like, dude, I would have totally been there. I'm not a big Zach Wild guy, but I can respect him, but not my cup of tea. Pinch harmonics are much.
I do. I did think it was gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna be cool at first, but I did. Now the Pantera thing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now that they've been doing it for almost 2 years now, they're so tight now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they weren't tight then, but the guys don't really. I guess I would say probably didn't have that full connection yet.
Right.
But now doing that shit every fucking night, and then you're on tour with Metallica, and then you do your own thing, and you're Lamb of God, all this shit. And I watched the video from Nashville back in February. Holy fuck, they shred.
Yeah, dude.
And they asked Zach recently on an interview. They said, "Is Pantera write new music?" He said, "Not Pantera." He said, "We'll write new music, but it wouldn't be under Pantera."
Right.
You know. And they've jammed. I guess they jammed some ideas, which is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, because you know Blake from Of Serpents and Creek Devil. He's a huge Zakk Wylde fan and a huge Dimebag fan. But he said, dude, you couldn't tell that it wasn't Dimebag up there until he did the solos.
Yeah.
Because you can't do Dime solos, man. Dime was a one of a kind. Love hearing the stories with other fucking people talk about Dime because fucking Blacktooth grins all fucking day. Like, you know, fucking he'd make your asses. Him and Lemmy, I bet you were probably people you didn't want to be on tour with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know? I've heard stories about Lemmy. He'd like open up a bottle of Jack, give it to you, and you think you're just taking a swig. He's like, "No, it's yours," and then you're fucking just. I'm like, "Fuck, dude."
Yeah, I feel obliged.
Yeah,
like,
mad respect though to Lemmy, man. I think he was one of the OGs that never changed. Always the same guy. You know, never got to see Motorhead. And honestly, I tell people this, and they always like look at me, but I really didn't fuck and listen to a lot of Motorhead till later, like probably within the last 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've listened to like the hits and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I actually went back and started listening to like Orgasmatron, which is a great record. Aces. I mean, all the fucking first 3 albums are phenomenal. I mean, everything's phenomenal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 80s, some people kind of went away from him because they didn't like the sound in the 80s. But his sound, dude, fucking, he was a loud bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, man.
Playing through fucking guitar cabs and fucking, you know, his tone was so great. I was listening to Scott Ian talk about being on their first tour in the UK, and they were opening for Motorhead or something. I can't remember the exact thing now, but you know, he's sitting at the bar. Lemmy's there. Lemmy's like, "What do you want to drink?" Scott Ian at the time wasn't really a drinker at the time. He's like, "Oh, whatever you're drinking." Mm-hmm. All right, so it's fucking Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
So he's drinking Jack and Coke, and Scott said, at one point, after how many fucking Jack Cokes, I don't know, I just fucking got up and fucking ran out the fucking bar. He said, I ended up fucking falling and passing out in a pile of trash.
Shit.
I get back to my hotel, whatever, and we have to go to Munich for press. Mm-hmm. So think about this now. This man without drinking all night, passes out, whatever, goes to his hotel, wakes up, and then leaves to go to Munich. When he gets to the fucking Munich, he was like feeling real dehydrated and shit. So they got a doctor or whatever to give him his IV or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, they had to pull down his pants and do it in the butt.
Oh, fuck.
When he pulled down his pants, he had shit himself sometime.
Oh.
So he went from the UK flying. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. And then he said years later he saw Lemmy and he's like, I was wondering what happened to you.
Yeah.
I ain't seen you since, you know. But everyone has a cool Lemmy story. He also said they were on tour with Motorhead and Lemmy's like laughing at them. Like, what are y'all wearing? They're all wearing the old board shorts. And they went past the knees. And they're like, nah, these are board shorts. He's like, those aren't shorts. These are shorts. And he had his like tidy fucking jeans on where the pockets are hanging out the front, his ass cheeks out in the back, and his cowboy boots on. But you're not going to fucking, you know, that's fucking Lemmy. You know?
Right? Yeah, the 3 people I think of when I think of Rickenbacker basses are Lemmy, Rick James, and Al Cisneros from Sleep. And those are like fucking the Rickenbacker players, man.
There is a band in the area there called Jughead Jane, and their bass player played a Rickenbacker.
Oh, yeah?
Band. And he sounded like a mix between Scott Weiland and like Chris Cornell, fucking like that kind of shit. And they're kind of like alternative, like that 90s alt mixed with some like 80s shit. You know what I'm saying? They're really fucking good. I don't believe they're around anymore. I know the guitar player in that band, Luke, he plays guitar in a band now called Blackwater Down.
Oh, okay.
They've played Clarksville a few different times. Actually, those guys in that band used to be there. That was the core of Hidden Sixes.
Oh, okay.
All those who's Burn and all those kinds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've not seen. I heard they got a new singer recently, and so I need. That's another thing. You know, these guys like that, which I talk to all the time. They've come and played Clarksville. And I haven't gone and seen them. I feel kind of like a dick.
I always feel bad. Like friends' bands playing, they're like, "You should totally come," and I'm like, "Well, if work and home life, pan out just fine, I totally will." I was like, I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just kind of a mix-up, man.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes, you know, and sometimes you see people that are at every fucking show that have a fan, but you know that's them. You know what I'm saying? and maybe that's probably the relationship they have with their family and their stuff. I mean, I'm sure once your kid gets older, like in his teens, you'll probably maybe go,
absolutely.
Hopefully, going to see him play.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe is that idea in your head?
Oh,
father son.
Absolutely.
It better be the most fucking heaviest shit ever, or whatever.
Hey, I plan on it, man. He's already into metal. He got to see me play one time when he was like 1 year old. We played Tour de Ville.
I'm about to say with Tour de Ville.
Yeah.
Are y'all playing this year?
Fuzz Ripper is.
Yeah. I just saw the bands that are playing. Where are y'all playing? You don't know yet?
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's I'm sure it's the normal stops. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool to see them do it inside and vinyl.
Oh yeah,
That's so rad. Talk about and vinyl, man. Do you buy records?
I haven't for a very, very long time. I need to get back into it. But it's just been so long. Like I had a badass cassette collection for a while, and
I got a couple.
Yeah. Fucking, I wish I still had it. I had some Municipal Waste cassettes and one of the limited Gravity Cosmonaut cassettes that we had done a run of, and I don't have any of those anymore. I wish I did.
I when I was in guerrilla warfare, I talked with he does all the VHS video stuff.
Jacob Bailey.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, he was doing the cassette thing, so I talked to Tony at Ann Vinyl, and we got a run for Cassette Day a couple years back. So that's kind of cool. I've always wanted something I've done either on cassette or vinyl.
Oh yeah, dude.
Vinyl. The expensive part about vinyl is the press itself.
Yeah.
But once you get the press made, getting the vinyl is not shit. But then you got to get the fucking sleeves, and and that's when I would be like glue stick cutting my own shit,
Right.
But I'm happy to have something on cassette,
Yeah.
I thought about doing a small run of like 25 of like taking under Harbinger, and I still may do it. I don't fucking know.
Dude, if you do it, put me down for one.
Oh, for sure. Oh shit, talk about that. Oh yeah, vinyl. So anyway, I think Anna Vinyl is a great thing. It's cool that they opened up and they've been there now. I think like 4 or 5 years now, and I have mad respect for Tony, man. He's doing it, and I feel guilty. I have not been there since. I can tell you the exact same I was there. I was there May 5th of 2023 because that was the last day I had drank, and it was Cinco de Mayo, and I was going through the cassettes, and I was like, man, I don't know if I have this one. He's like, go ahead, grab it. So I grabbed it, and it was a band called Love Hate, 80s hair, kind of like, I don't know if they were. I would say they're hair metal, but they're not hair metal. They were more kind of like LA Guns kind of grimy, kind of like street shit,
Yeah.
So I got that, and that's the last time I've been there.
Oh man,
but I need to go back and visit the guy.
It's been a long, long time since I've been there. I went in like right after they first opened up, and then I lost all my media, and I was like, I'm gonna give up for a little while. I have a few records still.
Yeah.
Troy and his dad Rusty. Rusty's like our repairman. Like, he doesn't play any instruments, but if we have an amp breakdown, he can sure fucking fix it.
Well, with the name Rusty,
that
sounds like a repairman,
But one of Rusty's old Pink Floyd vinyl he had found in their house, and he gave it to me, and it was my fucking favorite Pink Floyd album, Animals.
Oh, nice.
It's the original pressing of it, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So I still need to get that framed and hung up on the inside. It was Rusty's sister's, I think, before it was his, and it has like her name written on the inside and stuff. I was like, dude, regardless, that's still so sick.
I had bought a record collection from a buddy of mine, probably about 10 years ago, if not longer. But it was his dad's collection, and he was just going through some need some money. So at the end of the day, I bought them, and I was like, hey man, I was like, how much you want for all these? And it was probably about 100 pieces of vinyl. And he was like, $100. I was like, no, I'm going to give you more. There's the shit that's in here.
Yeah.
Fucking Number of the Beast original. Fucking License to Ill original. Like all these
dude.
Pink Floyd The Wall original. Like all these original records. I'm like, nah, dude, I give them $250, But I said, now, if you ever want these back, let me know.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I want you to have them because you're going to enjoy them. I was like, all right, cool. And the shit that was in there, like I said, and I was like, wow. Like, I was like insanely, like, there's more than just that, but some great shit that I had. And I was like, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I want a original pressing of 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang. That would be fucking amazing.
Have you ever looked up that price?
Oh, yeah. It's never going to happen, but...
me and my neighbor, he's a cool dude. He's into metal and shit too. We had a little project back in the day. It's when I actually kind of got comfortable with singing. It was a band called Fear's Misfortune, and it's not on anything, so I'm not gonna get made fun of. I don't give a shit if I did, because me, I don't give a fuck. But anyway, we were watching the Wu Saga. And after we got done, I was like, man, do you have any Wu on vinyl? I was like, nah. So I went on Amazon and ordered them 36 chambers. And
Hell yeah.
$20 or something, But yeah, I would love to have that original. I'd love to have Get Ready or Die Trying original.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I do have now the original Biggie Life After Death vinyl.
Hell yeah.
And I fucked up and opened it, but
fuck.
It's still worth a lot.
Yeah.
I got, there's some vinyl that like I want. I still try to search for like some OG hip hop, but
oh yeah, man,
it's expensive.
Yeah, Wu-Tang is like up there for me. I didn't know it when I was younger or whatever, because me and my dad didn't reconnect until I was like 18 or so. When I was younger, I would always be like, fucking like Wu-Tang. I don't know why. I got older, me and my dad started connecting, and he's like, oh yeah, I fucking love Wu-Tang. I was like, oh hell yeah, that's what's up.
Hell yeah.
I had gotten a Wu-Tang beanie for Christmas one year from my in-laws, and I had my head's kind of big, so it would pop up on me.
Because you're Hispanic.
Yeah, it's exactly why. And so my son, I was like, all right, I'm going to throw it on him. So I've been bought him a Wu-Tang shirt to match mine all the time. He wants to wear it. He throws up the W's and stuff.
Heck yeah. Did you watch that Wu Saga?
Oh, yeah. It was good, man.
The last season, those last few episodes, the way they filmed it, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go back because when they were doing Old Dirty Bastards part, and it was like in the 70s and shit, like, I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like, I have to because I was looking at my phone or something. I was like, fuck this. I got to rewatch. And I went back and I was like, they're telling the story as old Dirt McGirt. And they're telling the stories as these guys. I was like, oh, so this is RZA, and they're telling it as RZA.
Yeah.
That was dope to see him out there in the fucking hills with the studio out there and shit. Dude. I was like, man, that'll get so dirty. But
so sick.
Yeah. I've always wanted to hear the album that we will never hear. The one that it was the one copy, and then the FBI had a hold of it.
Yeah.
And
old Martin Shkreli's. Yeah. God.
I wonder if it's but you know what? It's like this. Like, oh, I want to hear it. But it could be the worst fucking piece of shit ever. Mm-hmm. Not saying it would be, because I don't think, even though Wu-Tang, everything's, not every band has a fucking, a solid record.
Yeah.
Some Wu-Tang stuff, like Iron Flag was all right. But it's still Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could be the worst Wu-Tang album ever.
So I saw an interview a month or so ago. I guess he's out of prison now. Martin Shkreli, and he was doing some interview about it.
That's the one he's the one who like jacked up the fucking price.
Yeah.
Okay.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he had bought it, and they were like, all right, you can't release any of the music digitally or anything like that. And people were asking, like the people interviewing him, they were like, so what does it sound like? And he was like, it's okay, but it's not great. And I was like, oh, okay, well, high expectations for an album that expensive. but also too, was he really a Wu-Tang fan? Exactly.
Or was he just like, I got money, I'm about to fuck
yeah.
This is how much I'm gonna have it now. Now nobody will have it.
Yeah.
But when they confiscated all his shit, when he went to jail, they played it for the courtroom.
Oh, no way.
And they said that the jurors and people were like because of the language and stuff. But can you imagine being in that fucking courtroom that got to listen to that shit?
Right.
Because it's like you and like a handful of people that got to hear this fucking album that no one will ever hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Songs that you'll never hear, and this is different than Wu. Because, like, I'm all over the place with music. I like a lot of stuff. And I have a lot of respect for Jack White. He brought back he kind of brought back the vinyl world in it to not all the way, but he opened plants up. He had a record he released, and and inside that record you had to break it open to get the 7-inch.
Oh shit!
But if you didn't do that, you would never get to hear the 7-inch.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it was a limited edition altogether. So I'm like, man, that could be a song no one will ever hear. That's just a cool concept. And another one of those records too. Depending on how you put the needle on the record, will play the record a little differently.
Huh.
And then depending on how you have the light shining on the record, this angel is spinning.
What? That's sick.
It's so rad. Like I love all the new kind of style of like concept record, like designs like that.
Yeah.
There's a Styx record back out in the 80s, or maybe I don't exactly know the date, but on the flip side, it's a hologram on the back and it says Styx.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Sleep actually did a pressing. They do a lot of stuff with Third Man. I think they're signed to Third Man.
I think they're signed, yeah. And he's put out all their shit, basically.
Yeah, they did this vinyl pressing. It's only available in the Detroit plant, but it's like fucking weed leaves pressed between clear vinyl. Leaves. Yeah.
Nice.
They're like, I was like, fuck, man, I wish I could get one of those so bad. They're so cool.
I think there was a Motley Crue record where they put their blood in the records or something,
sick.
Which would sound like something like Kiss would do, because Kiss did that in the 70s, maybe it could have been the early 80s, where they put their blood in the ink, and then just a little drop, but it's still in there, I wonder if it's enough to clone them. But then there was this other record. It was like some tribute or some charity record or a bunch of the artists that were on this record. They all put their drops of blood. So there's like 20 or 30 drops in blood mixed in this fucking clear liquid. Yeah. And when you move the record, the blood was moving in the record.
Oh, that's so sick.
I mean, it's cool to see all these ideas, and I don't know because I'm not that in. I mean, I'm into vinyl, but I'm not that into vinyl. Like, does that change the sound of the record?
Right.
Because like 180 grit to all these different grits. But I just think it's great to see people do that kind of stuff, because you wouldn't see something. Oh, we put our blood in our cassette tape. You don't see that kind of shit. You like Kiss and stuff like that?
So actually, growing up, my mom and her brother, who has passed away years and years ago, they were really, really into Kiss. When I was like 3 years old, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Dudes dressed up in this fucking face paint and stuff. It looked sick. Didn't get into them for the longest, and then a few years ago I did a deep dive on them, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, dude, this is fucking amazing. That first album, man.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god. Strutter, fucking amazing.
I always thought those songs were recorded slow, because he's like, go to thunder. Yeah. But that's just how it was, and that the bass is so
yeah, dude. Deuce is like my all-time favorite Kiss song. The fucking guitar riff, man. So sick. I
mean, I get it. People don't fuck with Kiss, but man, I don't know why. They're
so good.
Even the newer stuff isn't the great, but it's still good shit. You know? To be going for 50 fucking years and every show, and you're still doing arenas. Yeah. It's not like bands that I was talking to probably Mark. But look at Motley Crue. People still talk shit about them. Mm-hmm. They're still doing arenas.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing stadium tours.
Yeah.
Look at Poison. They're still doing arenas and stadium tours, But they're not like LA Guns, who are doing bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Like some of those bands still fucking do it,
There's bands that played Warped Tour that aren't doing anything now,
Yeah. Oh, and that were huge during the day,
Yeah.
I mean, you're younger, so I would consider you a Warped Tour era kid.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Warped Tours?
Oh, yeah. I went to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Never got to make the earlier ones that I wanted to, but the ones I went to, they were pretty cool. I was like 18 to 20 when I went to those. They were pretty cool, man. Sucks that they don't do them anymore, but
no. I had read somewhere where what's his name, Franz from Attila.
Yeah.
Apparently, him and the dude that did Warped Tour, I can't remember his name right now, but was offering to have Franz buy it.
Oh shit!
Franz was talking about it because, I guess when back in that day, and this could all just be talk, I don't know 100%. But when Franz and Attila was on Warped Tour, this is also when he was running this. He had that Stay Sick label, or the clothing company, whatever. So he had to get up early. He would have to set up the tents and set up tents for Attila, set up the tents for this thing, because he was a hands-on guy. And while everybody else was fucking sleeping in and whatever, he was like, man, you're up every day. He's like, man, I got a business around. I got to do this. And it became really close. And then, but I would be cool to see it to come back, because I would love to go.
Oh, yeah.
I went to, I've been to a few great ones. I went to one, which this one is always funny to me. It was Under Oath, the headline. And in between Under Oath, it was Under Oath, No Effects, Paramore.
Hell yeah.
And Fat Mike being Fat Mike goes, I'm in between a Christian sandwich. And he goes, I was here about 18 years ago, and I fucked this redhead chick. And I think that's my daughter talking about Haley from Paramore. And I was like, oh my gosh, man. And,
fucking Fat Mike.
Yeah. And, Fat Mike opened up that punk rock museum in Vegas. And they were going to do a section for women in punk. They were going to put Haley up there. Mm-hmm. And some people can argue if they're punk or not punk, or whatever they are. They're good. They're a good rock band, whatever. But he wanted to get the approval to put her up there, and she said no because. And all he wants to do now is just apologize about his statements he had made because he was Mike. Yeah. But she doesn't want the apology.
Oh, man.
It is what it is, And she's like, I don't care about being in that museum anyway. I'm like, I would love to be in that museum,
Dude, like, punk, ska punk, all that shit, man. I'm so for it. Like, I've been listening to a lot of fucking ska lately, and I'm just like, oh, God.
I like, for some ska bands, like Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Yeah.
Suicide Machine.
Hell yeah.
I mean, and you can go, even people say no, but I say yes because I think they're everywhere. But Sublime.
Oh yeah.
They're one of the. I think they were that first record, 40 Ounces of Freedom. So many different styles of music in there. They were covering Descendants in there. They covered fucking Grateful Dead in there.
Yeah.
It's like all those songs, and then the next album, Robin the Hood, not great, but there's some great stuff. And then they came out with that self-titled that had all the hits. And, but I fuck with that band. Now they're back with Brad's son on vocals,
which is crazy. That's pretty awesome.
He never got to meet his dad. His dad was, I think he was one when his dad died. Mm-hmm. And I've seen some of it. It's not the same, but it is the same.
Yeah.
He has the heart and energy that his dad had. I got to see Brad Knoll once before I even knew who the fuck he was. Mm-hmm. He opened up for this reggae guy named Ika Mouse. And this guy Ika Mouse I went with my godmother and her kids, and we went to go see him in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Ika Mouse, whatever, I'll go, and this guy's on a stool opening the show on acoustic guitar, and it's fucking Brad Knoll.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that's that guy? Dude. And I guess Sublime was already out at that time. But,
yeah.
He was just doing a little acoustic stuff. And then years later after he died, there was something called In the Van or something they released. I think it was like a lot of him doing acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see that, man, that he's fought, that they like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a 25th a 30th anniversary of something, So yeah. Any concerts in your future?
Not in my foreseeable future right now. If Deaf Heaven ever comes through to Nashville again, I will be there.
Why do people shit on that band?
Dude, I don't know. They are fucking amazing. Sunbather changed my life when I was 17.
People, I don't know why people talk so much crap about that band. That album's great.
Yeah.
They're a great band.
I think, where it comes from is, they're black metal, but they're not black metal how the black metal dudes want them to be. They want them to be like all, fucking face paint, satanic, and it's like, well, Deaf Heaven's Deaf Heaven, man. Like, they add the ambience, and it fucking works. Like, their music is so beautiful and so heavy, and it's fucking amazing.
Are they U.S.?
Yeah.
Okay. So they would be. Are they considered black metal?
I mean, probably by today's standards, yeah. Like 90s standards, no. They're fucking 90s, fantastic.
90s instead, yeah. What was that? What's the documentary or the movie that just came? Lords of Salem.
Oh yeah.
Was that not? Is that not? That's not the name.
No.
Of it. The one
Lords of Chaos.
That was fucking great.
That was a fucking amazing movie.
Yes. And I wasn't really into them at the time, and I still not. But I can see why people fuck with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of, to me, it's not. I'm not saying the music, but their look is kind of like the same as like a crust punk.
Yeah.
There was a kid when I was in high school, back in the 2000s. Back in the 90s. There was this kid when I lived in Cali. Mm-hmm. His name we called him Lucifer.
Hell yeah.
And he was this Hispanic dude that, of course, everyone, because he lived in the hood, so everybody in the hood was didn't fuck with him because he would always walk with his fucking hair down. He was fucking just big combat boots and shit.
Yeah.
And one day he came to school and he was friends with me and much my other fucking stoner rocker dude, and he fucking comes to school, walk blocks and blocks with a fucking stick with the skull and brain of a fucking cat.
Oh my god!
Just walking down the hallway.
What the fuck?
He's like, "Can I put this in your locker?" And I'm like, "Bro, no, man. This is a fucking stink."
It's disease central,
he's
man.
Like, fuck, all right. And he's walked outside and just threw it in the fucking. I'm like, Damn, dude. And I found I was going through some of my old stuff recently. There was a letter I got from him.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that don't know what letters are, it's a piece of paper that you would write on, and then you would fold it up, put it in an envelope, put a stamp, and then you'd mail it to somebody and take 2 weeks to get to him. But inside that, he wrote me how he's doing and shit. And he goes, "Oh yeah, and I always wanted to tell you, the award for the biggest skull is you." And I was like, that's how I read it, because that's how it was wrote down. You know? And I was like, "Ah, you're crazy, dude." And I always wonder what happened to that guy, but he's probably like a fucking tech dude somewhere in California.
IT guy. Has a wife and 8 kids, and
little Lucifer's running around with fucking. No, it's like you everything you just said. It's like you're a mini me with like your style of music and everything. It's like you got a wide range of a huge range, and there's a lot of things that I fuck with now that I didn't fuck with back in the day.
Yeah.
And technically, it's not that I didn't fuck with them. I just didn't say I fucked with them.
Yeah.
If you asked me then if I had a guilty pleasure, I'd probably say that. Now, I don't have a guilty pleasure.
Right.
I listen to fucking everything. I'm fucking huge fucking JT fan. I love Justin Timberlake. I fucking love everything the man does. But it's like when that Panic at the Disco record came out, the first one, man, I fucking wore that fucking album out. And it's a great fucking record. After that, everything was crap afterwards, in my opinion. It was just a great record. It was like it's a concept record that was start to finish a great record.
Yeah. Well, while we're on the topic of guilty pleasures,
okay, I'm gonna ask you now. What's your guilty pleasure?
So it was Justin Timberlake for a while. I don't have a guilty pleasure, but I will say
at the time,
yeah, it was Justin Timberlake. His music is so fucking good. But my wife, Cheyenne, I know she's gonna listen to this, and she's gonna love this. She loves the Jonas Brothers, so I took her to go see the Jonas Brothers, and I'm gonna say that live show was actually fucking great. They had,
the Jonas Brothers, like Nick Jonas.
Yeah. Okay. Still, I mean, there's a couple of songs I'm like, all right, but she's in love with Joe Jonas, so.
There's one of their songs that I've heard. Didn't know it was them because it kind of sounds like Mumford & Sons style.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is this? And I looked it up, and it was the fucking Jonas Brothers.
Dude, it was crazy, like seeing them.
They're European?
No, they're from here.
They're from here?
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild though, because I was like, oh fuck, I was like, I love her. I'm gonna go with her to this fucking Jonas Brothers show. Bought tickets for Bridgestone to go see him, and dude, like the live show was crazy. Like they had multiple like trumpet players and brass instruments, and I was like, all right.
When was this?
Just this past summer.
Okay, I was about to say, I know they did that tour. I know a couple years ago, and by couple probably like when they were at their prime, because now they're all like hot fucking adults, and all the girls are like still throwing themselves at them. You know? Just like they do with fucking NSYNC and fucking Backstreet Boys still, But they played, I believe they played LP Field.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and my friend took her kid, and the traffic was so bad that everybody was letting their kids off at the off-ramp right in front of fucking Nissan, and they were just walking to the show because it was, I mean, I'm sure it's even worse for Taylor.
Yeah.
Up to Taylor Swift.
Oh, God.
There's like, when she performed, what was it, last year, when she did like 4 nights in a row, all sold out. The last night, it fucking rained, and she waited an hour or two and still fucking performed, and I think she played like 3.5 hours.
Jesus.
But there was like over 1,000 people in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone wants to say about that woman, whether you think she's Satan or whatever. She got it.
Yeah. That's,
I mean, when you're selling out every fucking show and you're boosting economies from your sales.
Yeah.
Come on. Only person that did it last year was Beyonce.
Right.
And you go to fucking Mexico and you're selling out. You're selling out every fucking... But give it up to her. Mad respect. Fucking...
Yeah, that shit's absolutely insane.
And kids that are fucking 6 years old to fucking women that are in their 50s.
Yeah.
Fucking... They can... what's that word I'm looking for? They...
Identify?
Yeah, with her.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get tongue-tied.
Hey, I
I'm
hear that,
getting so
man.
excited about Taylor fucking Swift. You know a band that I really fuck with, though. Okay, so you said guilty pleasure. So you would fuck with Jonas Brothers? Well, could I
live?
If I seen you like fucking at the red light, you're like, "What's up, man?" No, I wasn't listening to Jonas Brothers.
No. So my car's broke down right now. I'm driving my wife's car.
Okay.
And on the back, she did it. I know to fuck with me. She got her dad makes stickers and stuff. He does a lot of stuff. He's a music producer and stuff. And he made her a sticker that says, "I love Joe Jonas" on the back of her fucking car. So every time I'm driving around, I'm like, God.
So right now, if I go out here, you're driving that car?
No. I'm driving
the one
something
from the other night.
Yeah.
Okay. That's hilarious.
I was like, fuck, man.
That's funny.
Everybody at work is fucking with me about it. And my buddy Josh, I've known him for over 10 years. He works there too. And he's walking by the back of my car, and he's like, "What's that say?" I was like, "Shut up, Josh. You're a Swiftie. We don't talk about this stuff."
I mean, which is worse?
I think they're on the same level, man.
Okay. And it is what it is. I mean, like I say, I listen to fucking JT. I grew up on in the 80s, so I was the 80s fucking pop scene was fucking insane. Like, I'm a fucking huge fucking Prince fan.
Oh yeah.
If everyone knows, and he's one of the dopest fucking guitarists. I mean, he was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just being biased because I fucking love Prince. He's fucking talented.
Oh yeah.
Watch him play the fucking bass. Like, come on,
dude. Any instrument. We got into it at work last summer. I have a guy named Xavier who works with me, and he's 20 now. He was 19 at the time.
Oh, yeah,
and we were it was a rainy day. We were cleaning up the inside of our break room and stuff. So I started turning on music, turned on like Rick James, and then I turned on some Prince, and he's said that Michael Jackson was better than Prince, and we were all like, "Whoa!" Like, what? I'm like, he's like, "But he had more hits." I'm like, "Okay, maybe he had more hits, but as a musician, in general, Prince is the fucking man."
And I'm fans of both. I'm huge fans of both. Okay, because that's when I grew up on, and I was a Michael kid first. You know? And then I bought Purple Rain for my mom on cassette for Christmas one year.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucked with it. I was like, "Oh, it's cool," But I was still Michael. I'd watch the fucking award shows, and I was like, "Oh, you want an award?" I go to my poster and I put a little star on the fucking poster and shit. I had a poster of him, like, it was like the background was kind of like yellow, and he was wearing like a yellow sweater vest with a white turtleneck or white collared shirt, and he had his pants. Yes, I fucking remember how the fucking picture looks. And then I had the fucking Thriller cover on my wall. Anyway, yeah, that shows what I was doing back then. But they're different people.
Yeah.
One, Prince is a musician.
Yeah.
He wrote, 29 fucking instruments on his first record. Somebody fucking got fired that year after that album came out because they didn't sign him, because every label turned him down.
Yeah.
He was a performer. Michael Jackson was a performer in a different way.
Yeah.
He fucking danced. Mm-hmm. He did it all. The only difference with them, I was talking to someone about this today. Prince didn't have the crowd reaction that Michael did.
Right.
Michael Jackson had motherfuckers fainting, passing out. What was I getting at? The only thing closest to that now would be Swift.
Yeah.
She would be Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson, I watched a Super Bowl performance because in the 90s is when they actually started having actual musicians at the Super Bowl. And the Michael Jackson one, because the Prince one is the best of all time. Michael Jackson one, it's pretty cool. He's like, he teleports over here. He teleports over here. And it's not him, obviously.
Yeah.
He jumps up in the middle of the stage and he sits there and he poses.
Yeah.
The crowd is screaming for like 5 minutes. He didn't move.
Right.
They're still screaming. And then he went, shta. He moved, and then they're like, "Oh!" He moved again. They're like, "Oh!" Nobody had that control of any crowd. That man can control. He met, but I got to see Prince.
Oh yeah,
twice.
Fuck, man.
I got to see him on the Musicology tour, and I got to see him on the 3121 tour. Anyway, I saw him a couple years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I got goosebumps every time he played.
Dude,
like I teared up. It's fucking Prince.
Yeah.
It's fucking Prince, I saw him at Bridgestone, and I saw him at no, it wasn't 3121. That came out later. I saw him at Municipal.
Mm-hmm.
It might have just been a tour. I got the bootleg shirt for it, which that's when bootleggers used to be out front selling shirts.
Yeah.
And but anyway, it was awesome. I like I said, when Purple Rain came on, I don't care who you are, you teared up.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. The lighting hits and it felt like it was raining in there, If anyone saw seen the performance of the Super Bowl, it's like when it rained, it the lights were hitting it. And it was kind of purple, you know. Rumor has, you know, they were like, "Hey Prince, it's raining today." You know, he's like, "Can we make it rain harder?"
Hell yeah!
And he's out there in heels on a wet stage,
right?
Still being Prince, you know. I like hearing Prince stories, especially Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl has some great Prince stories. Everyone that knew the man had a great story.
Yeah.
You know? Even Gwen Stefani, she got to work with him. She was on his album "Rave Until the Fantastic Joy." She did a song with him. Chuck D was on the album, but Prince was on a No Doubt record.
Really, I didn't know that.
It was their Rocksteady album, and he had the song blah blah. He gave it to Gwen gave it to him to listen to. He shot it back, and when you listen to it now, you're like, that's totally fucking Prince. It sounds like a Prince song.
Yeah.
You know? And who's to tell Prince, I don't like the way you did to my song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's going to do that.
Cool. But yeah, those are, you know, back in the day, if I told people back in the 90s, I listen to Prince, they'd be like, what? You listen to Prince? Yeah. You know, but, you know, when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when he fucking was up there jamming with Tom Petty and George Harrison and blew them all the fuck away, man. And he just proves at that point that he's one of the greatest guitar players.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He's not a fucking metalhead. He's not a fucking, he's a fucking musician.
Yeah.
He shreds, dude. I forgot what track it was, but watch him add the bass to it. He's just like...
Yeah.
He's just going for it, man. All
yeah. Right. That's I don't know, man. That's the funny thing, like, about us as a band, too. It's like, yeah, we're heavy and stuff, as far as Ritualcaster goes, but, like... We base our guitar tone off of classic rock sounds, and then we'll add fuzz onto it. It's, I don't know. A lot of people are just like, "Oh yeah, you guys are heavy." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you know, we get all of our tones from these vintage amps that like classic rock artists used back in the day and stuff. Like Leslie West used Sun amps. My main amp is a Sun Model T from 1973.
Well, how long's Sun amp been around?
Since the 60s. Right. Conrad Sunholm originally made it with his brother. And then he went off to do it on his own. I think the 90s or early 2000s, they had got sold off to Fender. Fender screwed up some stuff, and now they're back again. But I'm not sure how it's going. I don't, reissuing old amps and stuff is cool, but I haven't heard one in person. I don't know if it sounds like the old amps, you know?
Yeah, there's something about the older equipment back in the day, you know? And that had a lot to do with a lot of the sound too. I mean, look at Sabbath.
Yeah.
What they did.
Oh, God.
Their sound was so fucking hard.
Yeah, man.
There was something the other day I was listening to, and the the British invasion, I guess you'd call it, or a new wave of British heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's depending on who you want to put in that category. But I was listening to me and my neighbor were watching this video on TikTok. It was like 20 songs, 6 seconds. Guess who it is?
Yeah.
And it was like it started in the 70s and it went on to now.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard something. I was like, oh, this sounds like Maiden. You know, so I thought it was Maiden because it sounded like Maiden, and it was Motorhead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, their tone is so fucking similar,
dude. Yeah,
you know, but it's England.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, all that 70s style of metal was just so great.
Dude, so good, man. Like my son's middle name is Sabbath. Black Sabbath was a really big part of why we wanted to play what we played. Yeah. Ripping Sabbath rips and stuff like that. I mean, we had to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the 70s gear. I had a orange OR120 from 73. We played Possum Stock one year, had that in my Model T.
So orange has been around a while too?
Yeah, orange has been around since the 60s as well.
See, because I don't know much about gear. I told Slaughter, I was like, I can't even talk to this cat about gear because I don't know shit about it, but I'm sure he'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah, man. I love gear. But I had that orange amp and it fucking popped a fuse. Or no, yeah. The sun has a polarity switch on the back.
Gotcha.
It was flipped the wrong way, and then the orange popped a fuse, and I was like, "Fuck," because we were plugging up to a generator. I was like, "Well, hopefully I didn't fry these fucking vintage amps," but they were fine. At the time, I was using some, I think it was orange cabs or whatever, but we got on with this company called Worshipper, and they endorse us now. And they have been a godsend.
Is that the cabs that they build? They build the custom cabs.
Yeah,
you had that one that was fucking taller than you. Yeah,
that's 612.
You still have it?
My bassist has that one now.
Okay.
I got that from my buddy Kyle in this band called Fairy Ring in Evansville, and Fairy Ring is fucking fantastic. But he was getting rid of it, and I was like, dude, I got all this gear. I'll trade you, throw some cash, whatever. My father-in-law took me up there to go pick it up in his truck. sat there and chit-chatted about gear for a while, and then brought it back, and then he had a 412 at his practice space, and I was like, dude, I want that Worshipper 412 too. I love this 612. And he was like, oh, I'll let you know when I want to get rid of it. So I picked that up, and after I picked that up, I was like, man, I'm going to hit them up, and see what kind of stuff they do for artists. And I hit him up, and I was like, I'm not looking for any, like, discounts or anything like that. Like, I just want to straight play your cabs live. Like, I love your cabs. They sound great. I mean, they're heavy, but that's part of us, part of our tone, And they got back to me, and they're like, well, we usually don't do, like, endorsements or whatever, but since you're so gung-ho about it, we can work something out. Since then, I have 3 cabs that I had custom made from them, a 612 and 2 4x12s, all with our Ritual Caster logo on them.
Yeah, I saw something you had posted. Did you get a pedal made too with the logo on it or something?
Yeah. So this dude named Quinn, he's in somewhere in Ohio. He has a company called Heathen Craft Effects.
Okay.
And he did a Big Muff pedal for me. But I ended up moving on from the Big Muff sound, and now I run this pedal called a Judas. It's a guy named Ted Bison. His signature pedal, he's in a band called Orphaned, and he has a bunch of other projects as well.
Orphaned?
Yeah, Orphaned. They're sick, man. But funny enough, Mick Thompson from Slipknot has that pedal on his board now.
Really?
Yeah, and I have like number 9 or something that was made, and I was like, oh, well, that's fucking cool.
I'm sure he probably has number 1.
Oh, yeah.
I just looked you're talking about your cabs, and the woodwork on those cabs are fucking insane. I see, and the logo, that's pretty dope to have that, you're stuck with the name now.
Yeah.
Because I always look at your shit because I don't know what the fuck it is that you have. And, I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, okay. But I saw when you got that cab, and I was like, did he build this fucking thing? Because it had the it was so fucking huge. And then I read the fucking caption like I should have. And did you win an orange cab one time?
I didn't.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have never officially won a music gear contest. I just want to make that clear. My mom had entered on one.
And you got a fucking...
Yeah, it was an orange 2x12 and their CR120 head, which is solid state.
That head's just like tiny?
No, it was a normal size head. It was just a solid state.
What's the small one called?
The Micro Terror.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
But I'd gotten it, and I was like, cool, because that's when I freshly started Gravity Cosmonaut. I started like the October before, and she won it on Christmas, and I was like, sick. Got it in, we were jamming for like a couple weeks, and then the fucking cab shit on me, and I was like, what? Wow. So I hit up Orange, and I'm like, hey, this cab's dead, like nothing's coming out of it. And they were like, oh, we'll take it to Nashville, we'll get speakers swapped for you for free. And I was like, okay, thanks. I used that cab for a little while, but I ended up, I think I traded it for a 412 to one of my buddies. And I mean, I like orange stuff, but I just stick with the 70s stuff for the most part.
you're like the guy. It's like, I have a paperclip.
Yeah.
And you trade that fucking paperclip for a fucking Ferrari.
Dude, I've been flipping gear for so long now. I slowed down a lot. Every once in a while I'll see a guitar or something and tell my wife, I'm like, I really want that. And she's like, don't get it. You're just going to get rid of it. And I'm like, maybe, but it's still cool to have for the meantime.
I ain't gonna lie. I talk shit about it. I said, man, this motherfucker goes through so much fucking gear, man.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? It's what you do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your hobby.
Yeah.
You get something, fuck with it for a little bit, and you're like, all right, go back to my normal sound.
Yeah. And it's hard for me with like guitars and stuff too. Like I've had like a 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom. It's a fucking amazing guitar. I went to aluminum guitars for a little while, and now I have a Dunable Cyclops, and that thing's great, but I don't know, man. It's constant, like, I haven't found the guitar that completely fits me yet, and I don't know if I ever will.
And you don't play, like, you're not, I don't see you over there playing, like, fucking Les Pauls or fucking Gibbs, like SGs and shit like that. Yeah. When I look at what you play, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. I like a lot of boutique stuff. Yeah. Les Pauls and Fender Jazzmasters are like some of my favorite guitars ever. But I don't know, man. I always go back to like aluminum guitars.
Are they light?
Not really. I mean, they're about the same as a Les Paul. Les Paul weighs about like 8 to 12 pounds, depending on what area you get it from.
And sometimes, it's your style. It's not, it doesn't fit you. It doesn't,
Yeah, there's a company called Electrical Guitar Company, and they were in Florida. They moved to Alabama, and they make some phenomenal instruments. They actually took over this brand called Travis Bean. I think Travis Bean was from the 70s. First aluminum neck guitars, and those things were fucking great, man. But EGC does some great stuff. I've had a couple of their guitars, and if I ever get the chance to get a full aluminum guitar again, I'm totally gonna hop on it.
Oh yeah. Do you? I don't want to spend too much time on the gear. Well, we can, but do you buy from Lloyd a lot?
Every once in a while when I have extra cash. Usually my stuff is just pawn shop scores or like marketplace scores. And I love mom and dad's music and stuff, but I like to be a cheapskate and somebody sell something that they don't know what it is or something like that, and I'm like, $200 for an $800 guitar? All right, I'll take it.
One thing, me as I fiddled with the bass for many years. I didn't realize this till recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know shit about gear. I'll be honest. I fucking blew so many cabs.
Oh shit!
Because I had the wrong ohms.
Oh yeah. That'll fry your head too, man.
Oh yeah, I am. Yep. I have one head though. It's the first fucking bass head that I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Still fucking trucking along. It's a fucking PV Super Pro X or something. Anyway, I've had that same fucking thing for over 20 years, and it's still trucking.
Hell yeah.
And then I still have a cab downstairs that for whenever I feel like hair up my ass. But I still don't know about fucking. Now I know about the ohms shit. I wish I would know earlier because I had some great cabs. I had two 410s, and then I blew one, and then I let somebody borrow fucking my cab. Which you never let anyone borrow your gear because you can't get mad at them if they blow a speaker. And guess what happened? I let somebody borrow it, and they blew a fucking speaker, and I couldn't be like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?" But I should have known because he cranks up and he fucking fiddles hard.
Yeah, yeah. I have an issue with that, man. Like it's like my gear is like very expensive, and I'm like, well, if you don't have your own, I guess you can use mine. I feel like obliged, even though I'm not. And I'm like, all right, but if somebody does use my shit, I'm like, all right. You plug into this input, don't plug into that, or you'll fuck the head up. Like, most of the time people are like, oh, I don't want to fuck with your settings. I'm like, I've had this amp for a long time.
And then you look over there and they're like,
yeah. I'm like, just do what you want to do, man. It's fine.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's cool, man. Fucking mom and pop. I've known Lloyd since probably '96.
Hell yeah.
Since he was in I guess senior in high school. And I guess fucking he was a couple years younger than me. We actually dated the same girl, but he was back then. He was a fucking he was a killer fucking musician, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was always had that cool. He was a kid in high school that was in a band.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have anybody that I knew that was in a band when I was in high school.
Right.
He was that kid, and everything he fucking touched was fucking Possum Holler, dude.
Oh God, such a good band, man.
Fucking great band, and they used to play Bowling Green all the time. Lloyd's a good dude, man, really cool guy. I wish Possum Holler would play again because I've never seen them, but what Lloyd will play when he's ready again.
Yeah.
I think you guys would be pretty good together.
See, I would love to play a show with them. I've thrown it out there a couple times, but whenever they get together again, that will be the time.
Yeah, they're only a 3-piece. One, the drummer was my Uber driver one day.
Oh yeah, Matt.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I'm in a band." I'm like, "Oh yeah, what band you're in?" I didn't remember because he had a hat on because normally he has a hat off.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh no," he said, "You know Lloyd?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm in Lloyd's band." I was like, "What band?" And he's like, "Possum Holler." I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Yeah, he's good. I like watching them play. I watched one of their like they did a studio session.
Yeah,
that was
the
really good.
SOKY ones.
He's really, he's like you with the gear.
Yeah.
I have a friend. Me and Slaughter have a buddy, and you may know him. He used to work at Gruen's in Nashville. His name is Bo, and he's opened up a new. I think it's called Music City Guitars, and it's vintage guitars and shit too. And he was in a band back in the day called Malfunction Crew, which if fuck, you would have fucking loved that.
Hell
band,
yeah.
dude. They're dope as shit. But we're oh wow, we're at a minute. We're at an hour and 50 minutes, brother. It doesn't
shit.
seem like it, does it?
No, not at all, man.
What's something about you that people wouldn't know?
I'm a huge fucking nerd, man.
I mean, I think we knew that. Like a D&D nerd? Or just a nerd?
Like Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh nerd.
All right, I guess that's the new nerds, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love Star Wars too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, at work on our lunch breaks, me and my buddy Josh will fucking break out the old Yu-Gi-Oh cards and play. Yeah. Everybody always gives a shit about it, but it's funny.
When that movie came out, because Pokemon came out, I was like, oh fuck, we gotta put a movie out too, which is better. Well, with the movie theater, because I managed the one at the mall, and they had all those Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah,
you can only get them at the movie theater. People were offering money for their boxes, and then I wasn't doing that shit at the time. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have now, because if I would have saw that shit on eBay, that shit was going for fucking huge. Yeah, and I think I probably still have the full set in the basement somewhere of all those cards, and but yeah, Pokemon is crazy. How huge Pokemon is, man,
dude. I remember being 2 years old and was so into it, and then I got into middle school and high school, and I'm like, I still like it, but I can't act like I like it. And then now I'm just I don't give a fuck. I worked at a collectible store for a little while and collected a bunch of the old sets that I never got to as a kid, and ended up selling those off. But dude.
Do you still buy cards?
Not really.
Because I figure you would do the same thing with the cards as you do with your gear.
Yeah, I was for a little while when I was working at the collectible store, and then that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for collectibles for a little while. So I was like, I built a couple Yu-Gi-Oh decks, but other than that, Magic the Gathering was really big for a while for me. I fucking love Magic. The artwork is so metal.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah.
I don't play it anymore because all my cards are gone. But my little brother, he been trying to get me to play with him. Yeah. I'm like, and that's a fucking money hole of a hobby.
Oh yeah, because once you start doing it, you're gonna keep going.
Oh yeah, dude.
I know Cody Parson. He's all into that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good dude. Respect to Cody Parson too with what he's done for the fucking scene, dude.
Yeah, man. God, Possum Stock has always been killer. Taking over on Tour de Ville and stuff too.
Are you doing Possum Stock this year?
I'm not sure.
Did you submit?
I did submit.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys would.
It'd be cool to get on again.
I don't remember when you all played, but Take It Under only played it one time, and it was 2017? No, 2014. 2017, because it was right when Harbinger came out, right around that time. And
It
was Take It Under, ALB, Guerrilla Warfare, back to back.
Yeah.
And I think you guys played but you guys played later that night or something. Or maybe it was the one where we had to fucking walk through the muddy cornfield.
Yeah. Yeah, that was sick.
I only played. I know I had fun. Maybe not so much our scene. I guess we did. I mean, it was in the middle of the day too. But I'm happy that he gave us the opportunity to play. Respect on that.
Yeah. I think that was the year it was in Kentucky, right? Yeah. I got sick the day after. I woke up and I was sick as fuck. So we left and.
Did you camp?
Yeah. We had, I don't know, a couple bottles of liquor and fucking had it, and we set it down for a second to pull out our tickets or whatever, and somebody walking by picked up our fucking bag, and dude, I was so pissed. I was really drunk by the time we played. I was like, whoever stole our fucking liquor, fuck you. I was so mad, dude. It's I just spent my last $40 on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's his name. Chris Layton was walking around and shit, and he's taking pictures, and I see this arm come up giving me beer. I was like, I knew it wasn't Chris, and it was brother Ryan.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh fuck yeah, Ryan! All right, cool. And then I looked over and fucking Perry from All My Berries I'm like, all right, appreciate it. I'm all getting these beers and shit because I didn't drink before that show. I drank during that show.
Yeah.
But me and Slaughter left there, and we went to La Casa that used to be over here.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And we look in the front of his fucking Jeep, and there's fucking corn husks just stuck through. Because his car was the only one that could make it back there. All the other cars didn't. So he had corn husks all stuck to the front of the fuck. So we were down the interstate, fucking was corn flopping and shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that show, it was 12 Gauge, and then Gravity Cosmonaut played right after. So I did back to back then.
You know who played that year that nobody knew of until that day?
Yep, the dude from Wheatus.
Yeah. Daniel Bendorf was like, I gotta show you can play tomorrow. And I guess he played the morning time or something.
Yeah.
That's just cool, I mean, and it was right before the whole internet fucking phenomenon of that song coming back out, If people would have been awake, to like, no, really, he played this morning. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty insane, man. Like the whole '90s comeback of like style and music and stuff. And I know when my son's a teenager, all the scene shit's gonna be back, and I'm like, fuck.
You know what though, man? At the end of the day, is it really that bad of some shit?
Oh no, man, it's cool.
You know what's really crazy now, and I've always listened to everything, everyone, and I'm gonna say this first before I get to that point. So I did a podcast recently with a buddy of mine that I've known for years and shit. And I went to the bathroom when I came back. He's like, "Hey, man, is that banner this Motley Crue banner?"
Yeah.
Now this banner is OG. I got this in '88 in Germany.
Yeah.
And I've had it since then. Surprise. But he goes, "Is that a fucking joke?" I'm like, "Well, no." I said, "No, dude. I bought that when I lived in Germany." He goes, "See, hold the fuck up." He said, "Because the Russ that I knew wouldn't let us listen to that shit. He would have gave us fucking shit for that." And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I always listen to it. But I didn't. I stopped for a period because, you know, I was skating. So, you know, watch a skate video, you're listening to that. You know, I was listening to a lot of NoFX, Bad Religion. But I was listening to those bands already when I lived in Germany, because when I got to Germany, I got into music. When I moved there, I was listening to, before then, I was listening to LL, Run DMC, that kind of shit. Weird Al. But when I got to Germany, I met this kid, and I still talk to him to this day. If you need some screen printing, let me know.
Hell yeah.
But anywho, I'll give you his information. But anyway, he got me into stuff like, he got me into Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah.
He got me into Motley Crue. He got me into, all these kind of bands, But then I had another cat that I was going to school with at the same time. He was giving me Descendants, Misfits, Black Flag, Token Entry, So I'm getting all this fucking music at one time. So at that point, I was into everything at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always listened to it. But then when I started skating more, watching skate, like I said, so I was listening more like NoFX and Green Day, Bad Religion, Offspring, Down by Law, all those kind of bands. And that's what I constantly listened to. And then after that, I quit skating, and then it was whatever at that point, But yeah, like I said, I like you got eclectic music taste, But no, what I was going to say was, the research of it's happening. And Papa Roach is one of those bands too. They never went anywhere. They still were always doing big gigs.
Yeah.
And their this last album they did, I think they had 3 number ones on it. But Limp Bizkit, I was going to get to. So they never went away themselves, but they put this new album out called Limp Bizkit Still Sucks. And they started doing these tours. Well, they started changing their lineup on these tours because they were doing so well. Yeah. Now they're headlining fucking all these huge fests again. They fucking did Lollapalooza in Brazil. They headlined it. Yeah. And they still got, now they don't take their stuff as serious anymore. They're just goofing off on stage, know, and they don't have to. Yeah. They're still fucking doing it, and I was like, wow, Limp Bizkit's back again, Korn never went anywhere, but people who did like Limp Bizkit was like, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, you got to respect that band. That band was tight as fuck. I mean, West, the shit that he did.
Insane.
And you can't go... John fucking Otto as a drummer, man. Everybody in that band's talented. I can't remember the fucking bass player. I bet you if I heard it, I'm trying to hear the songs, Bubba, take me to the Matthews Bridge. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's just cool to see that research. Like you said, what would be if your kid is like, say, you're, in his teens, would it be like fucking Bring Me the Horizon and that kind of shit,
That's what I'm thinking.
That band, I never fucked with them at first. It's not that I didn't like them; I just didn't know about them.
Yeah.
And then they have that one album with the umbrella on it, and I listened to it because it's the same year that this POD record came out that everybody slept on because it was a concept record. And if their label would have pushed it, it would have been probably their biggest record. POD's biggest record ever, because concept records work if they get pushed right. Yeah. But that Bring Me the Horizon record, I really got into it because it wasn't really the Bring Me the Horizon that I had heard. Yeah. It was more kind of a lot of synth in there, a lot of poppy, which I liked it, and it was a good record. And to me, I think that was a concept kind of similar record. And then, but yeah, those kind of bands like Bring Me the Horizons,
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah. What's that band? What's Ronnie Radcliffe? What's his band? Radke.
His old one was Escape the Fate, and then the newer one is Falling in Reverse.
Yeah. And see that dude, I get it, but man, he's fucking marketing genius.
Oh yeah, man.
Like him and like it's like Franz from Attila. Yeah. Look what they. I mean,
They always say bad press is better than no press.
Yeah.
So, somebody's going to talk about you. It's going to up your numbers.
And
so.
he eats it too.
Yeah.
He loves it, know? I know people that fucking love those bands. And nothing, I'm not talking bad about them. I'm sure Falling Reverse will probably play F&M here soon.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Breaking Benjamin next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy, but it is an arena, and it does hold like, 4,500 or 5,000 people,
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy. Don, what you got good? Anything new? Anything you want to talk about? Push?
Not really, man. Just the show on the 11th. It's going to be super awesome. Fuzz Ripper's new album. Not sure when that will be out, but when it's out, everybody will know. Because I will be promoting that motherfucker like crazy. Yeah, man, I'm super stoked to actually play with Neurovatra. It's been since probably the last time we played with Taken Under since I've seen Mark, so it'd be really cool, man. I haven't listened to much of the other band Dead Runes, but from what I have heard, they're fucking good.
Yeah, I've heard they're really fucking dope. So, you guys. I mean, you guys are already playing fucking with Nero, but I think you guys would be good together on some shows.
Oh yeah,
I think you guys have. It's not the same sound, but it's kind of
same vein.
Yeah.
Which is cool. What had me initially reach out to Mark about a show. There's this. I guess I don't even know
that
Weedian. Yeah.
Yep.
They put us on a compilation together, and I was like, "Fuck, dude!" Like I've been listening to the Weedian compilations for like years and years and years, and they're always pushing like bigger bands and stuff. And when we played Muddy Roots, they put a clip of us on their like Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Their Instagram got deleted, I guess, because of their name. I don't know. Yeah, it was fucking cool, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "It's cool seeing some like homies from Tennessee, because you had them."
Well, the whole compilation is Tennessee.
Yeah. It was just cool, like people that like Neurovatra, Wicked Trip. Those are really good friends of ours. Troy's in that band as well, and then Toad Smoke out of Chattanooga. They're fucking awesome. They're more like death metal, but still, it was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, and it's cool that. And I thought the Weedian was a band, but I guess it's a guy who does that.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though, that people that take the time out to do that kind of shit to push these bands. You know what you need to do? Do you have any footage of you guys from
Muddy Roots?
Yeah.
I don't think I do personally.
I was like, you need to find some. Yeah. You need to find some, and you guys need to put that up. Be like, hey, this was us playing Muddy Roots. Get us back on it. You know what I'm saying? You guys need to. That's what you need to do. And people always say, "Oh, I don't like to flood on social media," but sometimes you do.
Hey, it's good.
Because if you don't do it, you're gonna follow that algorithm, and then you're gonna. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I try to. I mean, I'm a fucking. When I'm in a band, I'm a whore with promoting shit, and I don't give a fuck if people get tired of it. They're gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? But no, man. That show's gonna be a good time. Dead Ruins should be good times. Other than that, where can anyone find you guys on all socials at Ritual Caster?
Yeah. All socials, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, we're there.
Cool. You got who do you use? DistroKid or?
Yeah, DistroKid.
I'll show you some things on there if you already know. It's a way that you guys can kind of get into get into more people's listening.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
These little things that they do. It works for us because, I mean, Taken Under, we go down to 200 monthly listeners, and right now I just looked at it, and I think it's like 790 monthly listeners.
Shit, so, that's what's up.
Yeah, and a lot of our listeners are in fucking Finland.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. Everyone check out Ritual Casters. Check out Fuzz Ripper, and if you're in the area, come out to the show on May 11th. Dom, this was fun.
Hell yeah, man. I had a good time.
All right, brother. Take care.
Yes, sir.